Hey, wake up, wake up, wake up. Oh yeah. Have you not heard the scuttlebutt? No, the gossip, the buzz, the who said what, who does that, yeah, the scuttlebutt. Well, I was flying over and see you near to the ground, and I came flying here for you to see what I found. Remember the swamp? Remember my song in the swamp? When I was like, womp, chicka womp, womp, chicka womp, womp. What's his name? The guy with the hair and the shirt, the prince? Yeah, the prince. He's dropping hints. He wants to know when humans dress all nice like they're penguins, throw rice to pigeons. They're trying to blow up the pigeons, but those are just urban legends. I know a lot of fat pigeons. Scuttle, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I will keep singing about the scuttlebutt if you don't mind me. I love Buttercup. Here it comes. The scuttlebutt, whatever the fuck that is. When you wash the clothes, to the hunter, the arrow, the bows, the chatter all over the palace is that here Prince Eric is gonna propose to somebody nobody knows. They're saying he suddenly chose who you sound like an owl. I bet it's the kid with the two set of toes. Anything goes, who never guess our little Ariel's marriage material. Time for the rice and the dress. And what do you call it? The thing with the lips and the press. I don't have this, I got a beak. So what do you call a peck on the cheek? Huh, you're awfully quiet. Oh yeah. What the fuck is this stupid song? My god, this is awful. I tried to even spice it up and it's still terrible. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I tried. It's a bad song. It's a bad song.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but it took me a while to even realize that that's what it was.
Thank you. And it took the YouTube copyright bots time to figure it out, so they didn't get to. I was afraid it'd be funny if the stream started and got like fucking shut down for copyright right away.
If we're lucky at all, the algorithm will just say, "God, this is fucking awful," and just leave us alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's been mentioned before, but Awkwafina sounds like a 9-year-old girl who smokes and does cocaine nonstop and drinks gin.
See, I didn't review Shang-Chi, and one of the reasons was I would flat out say that Awkwafina sounds like she smokes 2 packs a day, and in my quote-unquote non-review, I originally had a joke that's just like, if you like that loud lady on the bus who smokes 2 packs a day and find that funny, good for you. I just don't.
Blue, did you miss my stupid song?
No, I just walked into the door. And, yeah.
Great.
You missed out on quite a bit.
I did a karaoke version of the Awkwafina rap.
Oh my god.
It's even, yeah. I mean, even when I tried to lounge it out and kind of give it a melody.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about Awkwafina's voice that we don't like? It sounds like she gargles hot asphalt before she goes to bed. It sounds like she drinks straight gin and smokes 7 crack rocks a day.
Yeah, this is why I keep saying I need to upload videos right away, because the drinker just put a video up and every single thing he said, I said in my video. I'm like, you prick.
This is why
Dude,
I wasn't.
Why do you think I didn't go see this? Like, this is such a self-fulfilling prophecy. And as Alan from Film Fret flat out said, this is a movie that you can review without having even watched it. And I just sat there. I'm like, I just wasted an hour and a half listening to you guys say the same thing about The Flash over and over again.
Yeah.
And this is what I fucking waited for. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, I'm glad to, I never saw the first one really, not since maybe I was a child, but like I watched this new one kind of like going in kind of totally not expecting much, and yeah, it delivered not much. And as far as like out of nowhere last night at 3 a.m, I noticed, you know what? The original's 88 minutes long.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's an hour shorter and it's so much tighter. And I gotta say, like, I did not mind The Little Mermaid. It still wasn't my cup of tea in terms of like the Disney animated movies I really liked. But I gotta say this. This part right here, when she comes out of the water, I kind of like welled up a little bit. It was great. And the fact that it's not in the new one, it's
Dude,
like,
what?
Yes.
Yeah. So check it out. Let's just talk. I mean, we'll no particular order. We're just going to talk about this, and this is why I'd rather do the stream, because, making a tight edited video on contemporary stuff. I'm with Russ, like Dark Hour, the contemporary videos. Like, I don't really give a shit anymore. I never really did. And like, why are you going to bust your ass when like dudes like Drinker and Nerdrotic are just going to beat you to the punch and get the million views, and you're going to say the same shit because we're all on the same page?
See, the thing I did differently though is because my son turned 16. I said, for my kid's birthday, I brought him to see The Little Mermaid because I'm a shitty father. so he's laughing. He's like, Dad, I'm like, I'm gonna make it up to him. Promise. Like, I bought him the new Zelda game that kind of it's worth the 2 hours of suffering.
You and your son have like this. Surely you guys bond a little bit over how terrible the movie is, right? You have fun.
I'm not exaggerating. At least 10 times he whispers over. He's like, "Dad, this is fucking awful."
But
a 16-year-old's like, "Dad, this is fucking."
But
terrible.
you and your son are having fun though, right? You're not torturing your son, making him go to this terrible movie,
well,
right?
He's like, Dad, I'm looking. He told me on the ride home, I'm looking forward to sitting down with you and doing your YouTube thing.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
because of how bad it was. So
he's in your video, or
yeah, I just
Sweet.
things. We got so busy because he
No
wanted
worries.
that. He buys Zelda. He want to go Dave and Buster's. I've been fucking crazy about it.
yeah, man. But yeah, exactly. Like you fucking bust your ass all weekend to make this video, and guess what? Drinker released his video on Scotland time early this morning, and it's like, oh.
I can't believe, and I even left a comment. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, why the fuck did you even bother with this one?
Well, it's fun. That's why. But
is
also,
it though? Like it's giving Disney your money and saying
Yeah,
we
oh,
want,
I
and
mean-
inadvertently saying we want more. Is that really a good thing?
I don't know. I think I just think the thing is, this is one of the few times like I'm hopping on the bandwagon. Usually I'm in Tyler's position where I'm the guy on the stream who hasn't seen the movie and I'm just bullshitting my way through it. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm usually I'm like the straw man. Like, well, try to talk to me as a person who hasn't seen it. But yes, like back to the ending, the famous fucking ending that we all love, right? Did I close that window? Yeah, I did. Anyway, we see her coming out of the water, right? And it's so magical. And like, because the reason why it hits so hard is because of the immediacy. The boat crashes into Ursula and they're washed onto shore like that. The sun has come up and they're both ashore. She's on the rock, like looking at him. And right then and there, Triton fucking turns her into a human. And right then and there, she comes out of the water with open arms into his arms. And that's it. The immediate emotional catharsis right after the conflict resolves. It's so quick. And then in this one, it's like he gets washed ashore. Then he wakes up. His family finds him, tells him, oh, don't worry, you'll be all right. He's just moping around for a while. And then like a day later or something, Triton turns her into a human. Yeah. And then she doesn't come out of the water. We don't see that shot.
Nope.
We instead see him like hanging out on the balcony, like playing fetch with the dog.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he fucking, I don't know, the stick, something, I can't remember what happens, but like the camera pans left and next to the dog is like her dress. It's a little surprise. And I know what they were kind of going for, but I mean, like I said, not having seen either one, watching the second one after the fact, like I said, like when she starts coming out of the water, like sparkling with a fucking sun behind her, it was like, dude, that's a good moment. Great moment. I can see the tears coming out of the audience there. Shit. It almost got me for half a second.
That's the problem with these live action remakes. It's there's no fucking soul, no emotion. I told everybody, even my girlfriend, my sister, how was Javier Bardem? The guy is legitimate, great fucking actor, and it's like I've given more emotions on the fucking toilet than this guy is King Triton. Because like you said, that scene right there with him and Sebastian, it's so magical in the way they drew Triton. Because he goes, "What do you think, Your Highness?" He's like, "Well, the only problem is how much I'm gonna miss her." And you see the sorrow in his fucking face,
and he's animated.
That's what I'm saying. He's animated, and you see like he's saying goodbye to his daughter, and then look, she gives her father of like, "You're doing this for me." In the live action, that's all gone. It's just
he looks ridiculous, like floating in the water with his wet crepe beard, glued to his face.
Also,
and he's just.
Was I right in saying that they digitally inserted his face onto a CGI merman?
There were definitely parts like where I was obviously like, wow, this, like, he especially looked weird.
Yeah.
I think his beard might have been CGI for all I fucking know.
Honestly,
I don't
it
know.
wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Obviously, it had to, and I'm just sitting there, like, if you're gonna do a live action Little Mermaid, you have to digitally, like, animate his beard. And I'm also just sitting there going, well, what is the fucking point? I mean, Halle Bailey said that she spent like 13 hours a day in like a tank or whatever, swimming and acting at the same time. And I'm just sitting there going, this is a huge waste of filming and resources. If you're going to overwork the hell out of your actors and not even have them do the things that they should be overworking, which is the acting and the singing.
Right.
Like, you're having her swim around, and yet all of these effects clearly goes to show that Disney is not treating their visual effects team any better, even though they've been outed for being like one of the biggest douchebag studios to work for.
Well, they work with ILM, right? Like ILM did all the
one of them,
stuff,
anyways.
Yeah.
Like, it's apparently gotten to a point where in Disney and Marvel especially, and Netflix, they hire like one company to do one type of effect and then move on to the next one, which is why nearly every movie nowadays just looks hit and miss.
You guys weren't on last stream, but we watched the entire Avengers credits of the first Avengers movie while we were streaming, just to demonstrate how many fucking names are involved. Yeah. And at the end, when it's like the animators, like the texture people, it's literally just a wall of text. You know, it's like, good God. But like, you know, when you compare the underwater scenes of Avatar, like that shit looked amazing because it also looked underwater. I can't describe it. You know what it looks like when you're underwater. I'm sure it's a very difficult thing to animate. And I remember being blown away when I first saw Finding Nemo. And there's that scene where, because like it's all computer animated, and like, you know, those early days, the shit did have this magic to it. Like, and I remember a specific part being like a teenager watching Finding Nemo, and there's the part where Marlin sticks his head out of the water. And you could see that the fish is like wet. You know what I mean? Like they animated it to where you could see that he's like shining with water. And I remember back then thinking like, dude, that's cool.
How many kids got scared of the big picture of Fuck Bruce the Shark? Like how fucking real did Bruce the Shark look? And you look at the CGI and Bruce the Shark and look at this bullshit shark that's chasing Ariel. How fucking it looks like PlayStation 2 graphics.
The thing is, like, sharks look okay because that's one of those early things that we've been able to computer animate for a while. But like Bruce the Shark was great because he could talk. Yeah. Why is it that none of the sharks in this movie talk? Like they're all like savage beasts, and every other fucking fish can talk.
I don't legitimately get that. But like I was 7 years old when I saw Finding Nemo, and like it wasn't just the fact that there were textures on the animals and such, but like there was a massive size to it. Like the ocean was wide open and it was beautiful, but it was also scary because like there's endless space there, and if you're in danger of something, there's either nowhere to run or there's so much wide space to run that or swim that like you're gonna tire yourself out. I mean, the jellyfish bouncing around, that was actually pretty claustrophobic when you were
jellyfish sting, dude. That's another scene I didn't like. The under the sea part.
Hell, the underwater parts of Atlantis when they're in the submarine, like those scenes still hold up incredibly well.
What's up, Meg?
Hey,
Meg. Sorry, I thought Chris froze there for a second.
No, Meg, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just popped in for a second while Alex is taking a shower.
Oh, yeah.
Netflix shows and being lazy.
Now, you girls are both fans of the old one, Little Mermaid movie. Never saw the new one yet.
She is pissed off at the idea of watching it. I told her yesterday, I was like, me and you should watch this thing on Intro Stream. And she was like, oh, the new one? No, thanks.
Well, like, clearly that means that's a racist dog whistle. That's the thing. It's
more like quit fucking up my favorite movies and trying to change everything about them. Like,
well, that was the thing.
In Time, it's like the worst one for me.
Yeah.
There was so much.
That was. Well, you're cutting out, Meg.
Yes,
but there was something. There was something that.
It's like
it's okay. There's something that I was gonna say with like this new one. It's like a criticism I caught on was like, the ocean is supposed to be vast. You know, the ocean is deep and wide, like Melissa McCarthy. You know, it should be this like this part where like she like I was jarred out by the fact that when she turns into a human, she kind of has to swim back to the surface all of her own. It's like Melissa McCarthy gave her no warning. By the way, take a deep breath because I'm going to give you lungs in a second.
That reminds me, from what I understand, not only does she put the original curse, like you have 3 days to get true love's first kiss. I read somewhere that she rigged it by like giving Ariel amnesia or something like that.
Oh, I didn't catch on to something like that, but it was definitely like she can't talk. It was the same deal.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was like a note for note remake in terms of like the big beats. Like,
like all the lines from the original, they say in the exact same way, I'm assuming.
Most of it,
definitely a lot more emotive in the animated one. That was something I kept noticing watching the fucking animated one last night after the fact. Drunk. I just like noticing like how great the animation was with her, like when she's moving and expressing. Like there's the part where I don't know, I can't just the specifics, but like it had that like rotoscope kind of quality. The animation looked great, very expressive, very emotive. You could tell what everyone's thinking. You know, like just every character, I don't know, way more characters. That was the other thing. The opening is just super grandiose. You get this idea of like a mermaid city. Instead of this new one, it's literally just like this guy and his like 6 very diverse daughters, and they all apparently have one mother. I don't understand how that works out.
Which is, I talked to people about that. You know, that concept they could have did a lot with that, which they didn't. But yeah, basically, it's like because he's trying to say that his daughters of the 7 seas. Which I'm like, you know what? I can respect the fact if you had one daughter from Asia, she would look like, obviously different than a daughter from like the Indian Ocean versus like the Atlantic Ocean. I could even accept that, but that concept is cool, but they don't do anything with it.
These people are so fucking stupid that like when they think like of diverse mermaids, think about it. You could have a red one, a fucking blue-skinned one, a green, like they're fish, goddammit. Instead, they just think Asian one, blonde one, black one.
That's exactly what
you know, it's just like, what the fuck are you know, come on, dude. Like,
well, it's funny you should mention that. There was a Little Mermaid cartoon that was kind of a prequel to the movie, and most of the voice actors came back. Like Jodie Benson came back, the original guy, King Triton. He played that role until the day he died, and like all power to him because he had like pancreatic cancer during his last few years. So it was rough, but there was this, I don't know what ethnicity this mermaid was, but she was deaf and she was princess of another kingdom where an octopus was her interpreter. And like, you know, an octopus doing sign language for somebody, that inherently is just such a cool concept because like you can do so many signs, and even though they don't do it, in fact, I don't remember him actually signing, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
And I saw some people saying, like, here's an example of why Halle Bailey's casting is not a problem. And I'm just sitting there going, well, no, if anything, you guys are shooting yourselves in the foot because they created an original character.
Thank you.
Now, in some respects, it's not entirely original. She's Gabriella, I think is her name. She was based off of a fan of the cartoon.
Yeah.
And apparently because she died of leukemia or something, it was a bigger deal for them to create this character. But at the same time, like, there's more passion and there's more energy given towards this character.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is like, and let's talk about Halle Bailey. Like, there's nothing, I'm trying so hard not to call her Halle Berry.
Everybody is.
So Halle Bailey, she is fine. I mean, she's a wonderful singer, and yes, I don't think she's unattractive. There are people who are like really shitting on her looks. I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't get Mermaid.
My problem is like, why don't you just go all in the paint? How about make the fucking thing set in Jamaica and everyone's black? Like, just go all or nothing. Yeah. They're not going to do that because China won't like that.
Wait, I thought that's what they did.
Well, it is like a weird, vague island setting. I can't tell if it's the Mediterranean or the Caribbean, but you know, I don't mind like this idea of like black Rastafarian villagers everywhere. Like that's fine. And black mermaids, who cares? But it is weird that Eric's mother is all of a sudden a black lady. And I'll explain why. It just gives it, first of all, this weird like Oedipal kind of vibes. Because like in the original, like I don't even think his mother shows up, right?
None of his parents were.
Yeah, there's the prime minister guy.
Yep.
Okay.
And in this, or whatever.
Yeah, but in this remake, he seems to be like a butler kind of guy to the mother.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, kind of, you know, whatever, degrading for a Pakistani man to be a butler. But anyway, the thing is, there's this like royal highness lady now, and she's like this black lady. And it would be weird if like in the original, like his mother was a huge thing and she was like a red-haired white lady, because it gives it this like kind of like he wants to fuck his mom kind of vibes, you know, because he's getting a girl that kind of like her.
Okay, yeah, now I get where you're going with.
But also it is like racist posturing, because the idea is this is one of those times where like, you know, Disney trying to be more inclusive accidentally becomes more racist, because they're saying like, you know, first of all, why do all these people hate white people? Because they're colonizers, they're rich, they're fancy hoity-toity fucking wig-wearing landowners,
which they literally did a movie of back in the 90s.
Yeah, so let's just give all these qualities that we hate about white people to a black lady, and that'll make it okay. It's like the Cleopatra thing, or like imagine if they were just like, hey, let's make George Washington from now on in all depictions he'll be a black man. And black people are just going to be like, that doesn't improve anything. What does that have to, you know, man, that doesn't make anything better. I don't know what you're saying.
Exactly.
If I was a black man, I would fucking be like that shit. So like when Disney's saying like, hey, in our movies, black people could be rich, aristocratic type queen characters. Black people could be royalty in our movies too.
Yeah.
But
it's
they're
like,
also
dude, it's
gonna,
racist when you say it like that. It's
but they're
racist when
gonna
it comes-
give, but they're gonna give the excuse that because it's a black queen that she's incapable of being cruel towards her subjects. Which I mean,
Yeah.
look up queens of her kind in any other country, and you'll get quite the contrary.
Well,
Yeah, well, if anyone should have been race swapped, it should have been Ursula, because when I watched the original, I could have sworn it was voiced by a black woman. I was like, this sounds like a fat black lady. Instead, it was a little old white lady. I was shocked.
Huh.
To see her picture.
You'd be surprised how many actresses it took just to get Ursula. Like
Yeah.
the writers of the movie, they wanted B. Arthur specifically, and
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I really would have loved if that had been the case, because I love the Golden Girls, and B. Arthur had Broadway experience, so she would have
True.
fit the criteria.
Yeah.
And apparently, if you've ever heard the name Elaine Stritch, apparently she was the original Lady Cast. But the songwriter that I've gone on and on about, Howard Ashman, apparently replaced her because she didn't like his work process, which really goes to show how much a lyricist and producer had control over everybody on that movie. It's insane, but it's also pretty admirable. And honestly, the story of Howard Ashman as a lyricist is one of the reasons I just avoid this remake like the plague.
Yeah, you were telling me about it last time we were on.
Well,
Yeah.
there's literally a 15 to
He
20
had
minute
AIDS or whatever, right? Is that what you're? Is that the same guy?
He was
Yeah, yeah.
HIV positive
Right,
when he wrote The Little Mermaid, but he still had energy. And Beauty and the Beast was really the last time he was actually working in the studio. Like a documentary that I love on Disney Plus. There's behind the scenes footage of him, Jerry Orbach, and Angela Lansbury listening to their recording to make sure that Be Our Guest was as great as it could be, and it was. And it felt so rewarding, and it also felt weird knowing that Lenny Briscoe from Law and Order was Lumiere, but here we are. But yeah, like there's literally a 15 to 20 minute lecture on YouTube of him talking to the animators and the writers of the movie about how musicals just inherently work better in animation than live action because there's not as much disbelief to suspend. And I don't entirely agree with him on that because, you know, I love Sound of Music. I love both West Side Stories or La La Land. Like, live action musicals can work. But a live action musical where mermaids are underwater and fish and birds can talk underwater, like...
Yeah, that was a confusing part. Is why is that bird talking underwater?
Yeah.
That's something that didn't happen in the original either. I was
as I'm watching, I'm thinking, what the fuck is in top of sheets of fish right in front of Flounder?
yeah.
I read about that.
And
But
dude, Aquafina's
He's like,
voice
oh, like-
is so bad. And I know that what's his name, Buddy Hackett. I mean, he was kind of annoying too. But Jesus Christ,
yeah,
I would rather have the
make
whole
him-
movie voiced by Buddy Hackett than fucking one Aquafina.
Yeah, but Buddy sings for like 5 seconds during Kiss the Girl, and then the other fish shut him up. Like, that's the fucking joke.
Exactly.
Not to mention,
Because he sounds
Buddy
awful.
Hackett.
Well,
Buddy Hackett knew how to be funny in an annoying way.
Yes.
When this scuttle, oh Meg, if you wanna, you should deck out and listen to the beginning of the stream when I start doing the Aquafina rap. But like, yeah, the Aquafina rap. To be fair, in the movie, this is the scene where Scuttle comes in and says about, hey, the prince is getting proposed, proposing to someone. It must be Ariel, right? No, it's the witch, you know. But instead she comes in and does a rap.
The
Stop with the
That's the
spoilers.
entire. That's the entire.
Yeah.
song's
You should duck
purpose.
out of here, Megan. Also, your internet's
Yeah.
really choppy, so.
That's
All right,
seriously.
bye. But I think, yeah, I'll see you soon.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
That's
mean
okay,
to
Meg.
interrupt on that one, but
No, it's all good.
that's seriously the whole song's purpose is just for a cop out.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Well, I remember people complaining about the song because Aquafina, who thinks that she should be a voice actress? It's terrible. Like Chris is saying, like everything we're gonna say has been said already and will be said again. But
But it's
Like,
therapeutic for us.
yes.
Well, not to mention, it
exactly.
also shows that this is something that people, it's everybody's complaining about the same shit. So it's like, it's not just one or two people. No, it's like everybody who's criticizing this fucking movie is talking about the same exact shit. So that shows you how, we all agree.
That's why
Yeah,
at the end of this, actual like dissection, I want to get into the fucking review booming nonsense, the gaslighting that's going on. You know, like
It's
anytime these movies are legitimately bad, they try to fucking lie to us and tell us that we are the trolls are the problem. You know, it's like it's internet trolls lying about our movie sucking. It's like, no, Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Silly. Aquafina seems kind of racist, like making fun of black women named Mercedes, a corporate router brand, etc. Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the people have called her out in that bullshit too. Where it's like it's funny how Aquafina, her accent it's changed a lot recently.
Yeah, she's leaned off of the
trying to be black.
the Ebonics, you know.
Which I'll be honest, I know very little of her career and honestly have no desire to, based on just how much she annoys me. Like I'm willing to bet she was good in The Farewell, mainly because she didn't have to shout half the time.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's why, like, and Enzo knows this. I thought she was the worst part of Renfield. Like, I really wish if she wasn't cast in Renfield, it would have been a lot better of a movie.
Right, and that's fucked up to say, but if that was any other actress, I feel like I would have liked that part a lot more. That's another thing. It's like, and it's not like it's not like, oh, but you don't like her because she's Asian or she's a woman. It's like, no, some people are just fucking annoying and they shouldn't be in movies. They shouldn't be actors. I don't know. People just rub people the wrong way.
I would just like to point out in my non-review where I mentioned that Aquafina rapping was as beautiful as Gilbert Gottfried singing opera, that has nothing to do with the fact that both of them are, I don't know. I think Gilbert is Middle Eastern, which kind of makes him Asian. I'm
that
not
2-second soundbite is all over the internet. That womp, chicka womp womp, chicka womp womp. It's just it's everywhere.
Guys, you see the Drinker's video. Drinker said he's like Aquafina. It's like having a dildo fucking covered in glass put through your ears. That's what it's,
I mean, like I said, it's like she sounds like a 9-year-old who smokes and drinks and does cocaine.
Yeah,
there are plenty of 9-year-old characters who sound like that, and that's mostly because their voice actors haven't been fired yet.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like when you get to watch tune into new episodes of The Simpsons, you're like, oh my god, you could tell it's like a fucking cast of geezers.
Dude, I tuned into a Gilbert Gottfried cartoon that I watched as a kid on PBS Kids, just to see if the guy they replaced him with actually sounded remotely like him.
Yeah.
And just all the voice actors. Like, that show was from 20 years ago. And man, do these 40-year-olds do not sound 11 and 9 anymore. Yeah. It's actually kind of embarrassing. And the guy they got to replace Gilbert sounds nothing like him.
Yeah, it does happen.
No shocker there.
Like anything, this what happened with Mark Hamill, having Luke Skywalker be in that episode of Book of Boba Fett. It's like, bottom line is Mark Hamill is now 40 years older. He sounds very similar, but he still sounds of his age. A 70-year-old man doesn't sound like a 30-year-old man. It just doesn't happen. I mean, come on.
When I saw him on Mandalorian, I just looked at his face and I thought of that 70s show, and I'm like, wow, Foreman's actually in Star Wars. His dream finally came true.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Well, but no, like Enzo was saying, especially past 2 days, the box office, I love Facebook. Every other second, it's like, well, these are projections, 10 different projections to the actual fucking numbers. Like, bottom line, guys, it's underperforming. Stop with the bullshit.
Yeah, but it's like you have everyone saying it's like, if it wasn't for the internet trolls, could it possibly be the #1 movie in the world? And it's like, even if it is that something worth celebrating?
It is #1 at the box office. It's one of those things where, like, you can tell the truth and somehow still be misleading about it.
Yeah. It's #1, but it's underperforming. Yeah, exactly. Both can be true. Also, it's just this idea of again, more gaslighting. Like, of course, it's gonna make a fucking shit zillion dollars. The problem is the movie cost $2 shit zillion. Yeah, that's the problem. You understand?
It's like Drinker said, that budget after watching this film was like, this thing cost $200 million. I've seen people on fucking YouTube with higher quality fucking CGI. Like, everyone.
Titanic cost $200 million. Titanic was the first movie to cost $200 million.
See, my first point in my non-review was to say that the effects look like shit, and then just to point out that, like, I'm a guy in my late 20s doing this on a green screen in my basement. I just go, and so do the effects in the movie.
So people are like, oh, well, the Little Mermaid is dark and dull. So what's this? Explain this. And it's like,
one scene.
But this looks like Shark's Tale. You know what I mean? This looks.
I would go as far as that.
But still, as I'm watching, I busted that. People in the audience were laughing, and they weren't laughing in a good way. They're laughing like, this looks like fucking PlayStation 2 CGI, guys. Like,
and it's one of these things where, like, obviously I'm showing you a grainy fucking cell phone video for 3 seconds. When you're in a goddamn HD theater, it's like, wow.
I remember this like a few months back when they first showed that first clip, and I said, it's kind of pathetic where Avatar is whatever, love or hate the fucking films. You can't deny the fact that in 2009 is 2023. The CGI in first Avatar still looks better than a fucking film made 14 years later. One dude's like, oh, well, that's kind of like unfair because James Cameron, the love and technique he put into it. And I'm like, no, dude, it's the point that a 15-year-old movie, CGI should get better, not worse.
Let me show you some stuff as a graphic designer here. This is the official fucking movie wallpaper that I got for this thing, and I just slapped, text on it, right? But if you look at the actual image, like, what is it always the same thing? It's like they got really high quality textures, right? It's like this rock, this. If I looked at this one little close up of this rock or this rock, like, yeah, that looks good. And it's just stamped everywhere. And then they have this like weird like opacity filter. So you got another fucking bullshit layer. This looks like I could make this in 30 minutes. And then like you've got this like weird, I don't know. This is just like what the quality of the stills they use, the fucking promotional material here. And it's just like, I don't know. You just definitely see how it's all rushed. You could tell it's rushed when you have an eye for this kind of detail,
I gotta be honest. It wasn't until now that I even realized there were bubbles in that picture. I'd never noticed that before.
Also, what the fuck are the bubbles from?
Yeah.
You don't see bubbles
swimming,
everywhere.
like-
You don't see bubbles everywhere when you're deep in the ocean. Sure, maybe. I don't know. It's just one of those things where like
around, because like don't forget in the original there are like millions of bubbles floating around every time they swim, and you have to remember they have to painstakingly paint each of those like one at a time and move them around. The original Little Mermaid was like the last one to be animated on celluloid, and then from like Rescuers Down Under to, I'm trying to remember what was their last 2D movie was, probably like Princess and the Frog. It was always like draw it in pencil and then digitally color it in,
Exactly,
and it's still good. This stuff is like drawn on pencil and digitally colored in, and it still looks really good.
It's funny, like you're saying, Enzo. Guys, like, well, okay, look at this scene. It's bright. It's bright and stuff. It's beautiful. I'm like, no, just because it's bright doesn't mean it's good CGI, dude. It's just well lit, but it's still shit CGI. It's like everything.
As someone who loves Mary Poppins Returns, which is directed by Rob Marshall,
right?
That's the disappointing thing that I don't understand, because
he's like the weakest of the Marshalls, right? There's Frank Marshall, Gary Marshall, who else? Anyway,
well, like Mary Poppins Returns, it's another love or hate scenario, because there are some people who think it shits on the original. I don't see it personally. But like, whatever you can say about it.
She's a good actress. She did a very good job, I think, doing an homage. It wasn't. I don't know. I kind of.
Who are we talking about? Emily Blunt or Halle Bailey?
Emily Blunt's a good fucking actress, man. It's like
and like if you're gonna replace Julie Andrews with anybody, like it's gonna be Emily Blunt. Like,
and honestly, this Halle Bailey is a fine actress too. I feel like her performance. She doesn't have to talk, so it's like it's hard to judge her in this movie. She's a fine singer.
Well, you still have to act without talking. That's objectively a tougher thing to do.
Oh yeah, and she does. Yeah. She's a good. She's. I predict she might go places. Okay.
The thing is, bottom line, she can sing. She can hit the notes. I'll give her that.
Right. I gotta say, Disney was like obsession of like hiring these actors who actually sing. Yeah. That's the wrong way to go about it. You hire a singer who might be able to act a little, but like in the cartoons, what they used to do, like with Lion King, that was the let's have Matthew Broderick do his voice when he talks and so do his voice when he sings.
100%.
That's a fine thing to do, especially with these animated movies. There's nothing wrong with lip syncing as an actor.
And again, the problem with live action remakes is that you can't do it. You just have to believe that this is like a jack of all trades actor.
Yeah.
But the other problem.
I just love it in the musical when the person's done talking and then the music cues and their voice like changes and then they start singing in a whole nother voice. And it's just like, dude, definitely. More of that.
Like the original Homeward Bound, where the dad just like sings opera as a lullaby to his daughter. It's just like, yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like almost like what Ty was saying. I never understand this whole thing. Whenever they take songs, you're like, okay, guys, we know songs like 1989 Kiss the Girl came out, or like Under the Sea. And the point is 20, 30, 40 years later, people still know. Like as I was charging the Tesla, I heard somebody driving by, they were playing Under the Sea in their fucking car. Like the actual 1989 version. And so they must have just seen like the show after mine. I'm like, that song is 35 years old and people are still playing it. It was
a catchy song.
It's like this Aquafina rap. In 6 months, no one's ever going to play this fucking song again.
No, I really think this song will be around, but like for the wrong reasons. Like this song is going to be Like that 3-second soundbite just from the fucking when I sang the song in the swamp, the bomb through the chonk of, you know, that little part right there will be a fucking horrible soundbite that we will be stuck with forever.
This is what keeps happening all the goddamn time. That's why people hate these remakes for it, because you keep saying we have to modernize. No, the key term, whether it's Mermaid, Aladdin, Lion King, et cetera, they call these films a timeless classic. The key word is timeless. Now, with the live action remake, no, this film is a product of its fucking times. That's why it's not going to age well, because a film like this, because who knows, like rap could be dead in 10 fucking years. But
that's why, like,
you
criticize these movies for having this like Broadway style like musical, but it's like that's because that shit just doesn't age because it's always old fashioned. You know what I mean? But imagine if like the 90s version had a fucking ska song in it. Well, you think that would still be relevant today? You know, fucking Mighty Boss Tones did the Under the Sea song.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, Under the Sea is kind of a reggae beat, just to the fact that my boy Ashman originally. Sebastian was a British crab named Clarence who really didn't have that much role in it. And Ashman's just like,
me more on this, yes.
And Ashman's just like, you should change him into a Jamaican. And the crew was just sitting there going, what?
Also, you know, you've got a famous Jamaican character, right? This crab. So you would think that what they should do if they're trying to be inclusive is like fucking increase this crab's role. Make his shit bigger. Instead, they diminish his role, so he's no longer like the Triton's like composer or whatever. He's like the royal composer in the animated one. I didn't know that.
Because crabs can't compose underwater, and I'm just sitting there going, yet another reason not to do this in live action. Like you're taking away the creativity. You're taking away the potential. But in all honesty, if CGI crabs could still compose, I made this a point in my video. If Scuttle was actually singing and dancing the way Buddy Hackett moved in the original, it would be a better movie because the surreal, fucked up, and potentially like psychedelic aspect of a seagull doing all of these things would be a hell of a lot more entertaining. Hell, I would like this remake.
No,
I would go see this remake if it was a Roger Rabbit thing where all the talking animals were just like animated or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, the talking seagull singing the rap scene in the bedroom is kind of freaky. It's terrifying. It looks kind of freaky. And like, to be fair, like Halle Bailey's character, the Little Mermaid, she's like taking her pillow and like covering her ears. You know, she doesn't, you know, but I mean, what's also just so vastly like different is like the beginning, like I said, in the beginning of the animated one, I was like interested already. It's like the first 5 minutes are so superior to the first like 15, 20 minutes. It's fucking 18 minutes into the movie when Halle Bailey, the first song happens and it's Part of Your World. And we're 18 minutes into the movie. Okay. In the first 5 minutes of the animated version, we already get to know Eric's character and Ariel's character without even meeting Ariel yet. You understand? And we already have a huge world under the sea that we've established with all these like diverse like mermaid characters. In the new one, we just see like a fucking weird pedestal in the middle of the ocean floor with like 6 little seats. And like all of a sudden 5 little female mermaid girls show up. And then a mermaid king shows up. And they're the only ones there. And it's like, where's Ariel? This is literally what's happening. Like, where's Ariel? And it's like, oh, I don't know. In the original, there's like a big music number where like something Tinker the Bell, here's the youngest sister Ariel, and then fucking she's not there, and it's a big dramatic reveal. I mean, I can't even. I mean, dude, it's just like when I was like dissecting the first like 15 minutes of the first 10 minutes of the Aladdin movies. It's like, why are you guys so like you're missing the mark so early, so fast? And then back to like what Tyler was saying about the ocean being vast. It's like the ocean. It's like you could swim from the bottom of the ocean to the top in like 10 seconds. Apparently, it doesn't make any sense.
Especially when Ursula gives her fucking legs. That there's no. I'm watching this thinking there's no person alive would have survived that. She's like fucking 300 feet down and just, like.
And in the remake, fucking Flounder and the crab like help her swim up. So it's like, okay, even though that's less plausible, still.
Or no, I thought it was in a cartoon. Isn't a cartoon they help her get up there?
Yeah, that's what I meant. In the cartoon, they help her, and then in the live action, she's just like stuck at the bottom of a fucking cavern.
Well, it's like how many times did me, Russell, Darker talk about that the whole thing of less is more, and Drinker just said this. You can take the fucking 89-minute film and cram so much into 89 minutes. This shit's an hour longer, and it doesn't take 15 minutes to explain like Eric's character, Ariel's character. And these guys take such like people. I'm checking my phone, my kid's yawning, like just enough already.
Yeah.
Like, get to the point.
That was like a common criticism I saw. I was like, right around the 88-minute mark of this movie, where the other movie should be over by now, like credits and all. At this point in the live action movie, the 88, 90-minute mark is where the kids start fidgeting. The kids are starting to get restless. They would need to go to the bathroom, start
I was
crying.
checking my phone, especially when Eric busts out to his new, again, the new Eric song. That song was a total fucking waste of time.
All the new songs
pitch was off.
The new songs are so jarring. And yeah, when you compare, like I said, these old songs to Tyler's guy, to the fucking Howard Asher guy, and then this Lin-Manuel fucker, like every fucking song. They were criticizing, even fans of his are criticizing him for the rap song, because it's like, why does he insist on putting a rap song, and not just any rap song, but one of these triplet raps where it's like da 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 da, that new style of rap that fucking even Snoop Dogg hates. Who started this shit?
I couldn't tell you, but I mean, I listened to the soundtrack before deciding to like even comment on it, and like I clicked on Under the Sea because the playlist put all the songs out of order. The second I heard David say okay, I'm just sitting there going, wow,
his voice
Lynn definitely put you in as a favor and nothing else.
Yeah, his voice lacks that baritone that because it was the idea this tiny little crab had this like deep Jamaican voice, man, you know.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention, like, he doesn't sound like he's even putting any effort into it. It sounds like he's doing an SNL skit as opposed to anything else. And then once the original songs came to be, like, Jonah Howard King can sing just fine, but when it came to Part of Your World and, I don't know, Uncharted Waters or whatever the title is, I'm just listening to them. The music becomes louder. The actors are, like, singing with more of a Celine Dion kind of thing where it's reaching a climax. And then you listen to the original soundtrack where it was much more evened out. There was a high point and then a low point, and then it would just go back and forth. And they're trying to, like, it seemed like they were trying to outdo the original. And because Alan Menken came back to compose, I guess that's the excuse.
Now,
but I'm just sitting there going, like, you can't even convince us these effects are real, and you're trying to outdo the original in something.
Do you guys know? I didn't do enough homework on it because I was too busy trying not to vomit watching this. But apparently, for Kiss the Girl, they had to change. Like I forgot the exact lyrics and like how much. I mean, I remember certain beats of Kiss the Girl, but they had to change.
I couldn't tell you. I'm sure they changed a lot of stuff. I noticed like there was a scene in the Ursula song where she talks about body language and fucking using. I was like, I do not remember that.
That was one of her best lines.
They cut that out of the remake for sure. But I remember, like, because you have to understand, I'm a 37-year-old man. I'm watching both of these movies for the first time, and I watched the remake first. So, like, you know, you would think that, like, the first one would have a more bigger impression on me since I saw it first. But, like, watching the 88-minute version, I was definitely, like, there were parts where I was, like, trying to be on my phone and still being like, oh, still like interested in what is going on. I'm like, wow, that was a nice little touch there. I'm sure. And the body language part was definitely one of those where I was like,
Well, I'm sure Holy Tyler knows. It's like, do you know how much they changed from Kiss the Girl? Because
with Kiss the Girl, it's not how much they changed, it's what they did and why. Like, very specifically, Sebastian says in the remake, use your words and ask her. And right when he said that, I facepalmed and I just sat there and I went, are you fucking kidding me with that?
Yeah, in the original, it's like you don't even need to use your words, right? That's
you don't know why, but you're dying to try. Or
I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the original words.
Like, I'm just sitting there
because I do want to see the difference.
I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, what women complained about this? I mean, in all honesty, was no one paying attention when Ariel has her eyes closed, her lips are puckered, and Eric's just sitting there going, okay. Like, that image alone has all the context in the world. And some blue-haired idiot with her brain cells completely fried from all that hair dye can't put that part together. But, like, poor unfortunate souls, like, a third of the lyrics are completely gone. And most of them are basically Ursula manipulating Ariel by saying that like men don't care about this, men only care about these like physical aspects of a woman. And I'm just sitting there going, first off, isn't that what the fans you claim to represent would want to keep in there? And second of all, that's literally the leverage that she has on Ariel to trick her into this. So I have to, you guys have seen it. So like, I have to ask, how does Ursula actually talk Ariel into signing the agreement? If
It's
she can't even...
Go ahead.
No, you said how it's on the agreement. It's similar.
It's
where
fucking hilarious.
yeah, I mean it's like she just I'm drinking, but
she's in a cave, dude. She's in a cave. It's littered with fucking human skulls and shit. There's skulls everywhere. She like literally takes one and talks to one for a second. You're like,
yeah, because remember in the original, like she would take the mer people and turn. It's at the end of the film. Remember when Ariel kills Ursula and stuff, all the mer people come back to mer people because like they're like those small little shriveled people, but they're still alive. Versus this one, she's actually murdering the mer people. So.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, you know, I like Chris and Critical Drinker and everyone else saying, like, yeah, Melissa McCarthy is one of the stronger parts of this movie because she's doing a pretty note for note remake of Ursula.
That's what I said.
Channeling that character pretty well.
Here's the thing, just going by the soundtrack, she has the menace. She has like
she's doing this like, hey boys, kind of voice, like, hey, I ain't gonna take none of your shit.
And this shouldn't be a problem for Melissa McCarthy. She didn't sound like fun to listen to or watch. She just sounded like a sadistic bitch, not a sadistic bitch that you like revel in fears simultaneously, which is weird because McCarthy.
All right, who would you rather?
Is a charismatic actress.
Who would you rather, Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, or just plain old Awkwafina?
For what? What's the question?
Yeah, that's not really even a contest.
So,
who would you rather?
Oh God,
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. I think she did have a little kind of I was kind of I don't know. Why did I have a weird boner at parts during that?
But that's the weird thing, Tyler.
Okay, easy
she doesn't.
Easy there, clergyman.
But it's like, as I'm watching the film, thinking to myself that she doesn't, because Melissa McCarthy, I've seen her enough things where you know her voice. She actually doesn't sound like Melissa McCarthy. She sounds like she's imitating the actress who played Ursula, and she doesn't. So she doesn't sound like herself, and she even her mannerisms, her smiling, she's pushing up her chest and stuff. But
she was having fun.
I did see that.
She was having fun, but she was actually imitating Ursula. So I'm like, yes, she doesn't sound like Melissa McCarthy.
The point is to distribute it. Yeah, I've joked about this. How like. We can only accentualize sexuality and be extra fucking, you know, you can only wear fucking crazy S&M sexy outfits and bring on your freak if you're like unattractive. If you're fat and gross like Sam Smith or Lizzo, they're allowed to wear fucking, you know, weird leather see-through outfits and shit. Whereas like actually sexy people are not allowed to do that anymore. It's criticized because it's body shaming. Fuck you.
I just love that nobody gives a shit that they rewrote a gay guy dying of HIV songs, but they care that a straight woman played Ursula and not a drag queen just because the animators of the original based Ursula off of Divine from the John Waters movie.
Exactly.
And you can kind of see it.
But you couldn't really make her character, like you couldn't race swap Ursula because Ursula's a bad guy. And it's like, I guess.
I actually have seen that done. You know those musical remakes that they do like live TV, like The Wiz Live or Hairspray Live?
Sure.
They did one of The Little Mermaid where the girl who played Moana was Ariel. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Shaggy was Sebastian in a ridiculous looking costume. and Queen Latifah was Ursula. And right there, Queen Latifah as Ursula. Like that's perfect.
Yeah, she would be great. This is another thing, like back to the whole Ursula scene. Like I asked Blue this, but like, yeah, Tyler, like, okay, I'm gonna make a deal with you. Like I'm gonna trade you, I'm gonna give you fucking legs in exchange for your voice. And you're like, yeah, that sounds like a good deal. Sure. And as soon as I get your voice, I start cackling like a fucking crazy person.
Well, I'll admit, like, she doesn't really reveal her most true nature until like after she signs the scroll. Like, I'll give her that.
Yeah.
But absolutely, like, definitely like a car salesman.
Well, that's
like,
right.
Hey,
That's
can you sign right here? And as soon as he signs, he's just like,
I forgot this one too. That's right. She didn't sign the scroll in this one. All she did was she took a piece of Ariel's fin. She took a piece of her fin.
Blood.
Yeah, it was a blood pact, but she never actually signed the scroll.
Yeah, signing a
You're
scroll
right.
is too like,
Yeah.
you know, white patriarchal colonizer. You know, mermaids wouldn't
no.
have laws.
No,
That's the
she
thing
told-
is like there is no mermaid like civilization in this movie. There's
Yeah.
just the mermaid guy and his daughters, and then at the very end of the movie they show all the mermaid people like happy that she's going away into the sunset, and you're like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't remember seeing any of these other mermaid people in this live action movie.
So what you're saying is like there's no community of Atlantica by any stretch.
I could none
And-
that
until the
was
very-
established in my eyes.
Yeah, no, until the last 5 seconds of the film. Like,
Because I
100%,
swear the
yeah.
trailer just showed her.
But there's not in
like,
the community. They're like
collection.
over by the Mediterranean coast with all the villagers like waving.
Like at
So
least Wakanda Forever had a community of underwater people.
I
Right.
will
Look
say,
awesome.
with Ursula, the only thing I thought was kind of cool, which I gotta give him a little tidbit of credit, was that she's telling Ariel that part of this deal is that she's like, you have the power of a siren, and your voice can manipulate people and hypnotize people. So she's like, I'm taking away your powers. That's what I'm taking your voice for.
Right.
I'm like, which technically speaking, based on mermaid lore, mermaids were known for like singing, and they're singing what would kill the sailors. That part said like little tidbits like that. I'm like, there's so much you could have done with that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
there's
like-
I think one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies explored that a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
so,
like-
so that's what Ursula says. Ursula's like, she's like, Ursula's telling Ariel like, you have to win Eric by not using your powers. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I can even go with that. That's an interesting concept if they would have did something with it. Like,
Ursula's the only part of the movie that's worth watching, especially like when she turns into Ursula again in front of everyone at the party and starts like doing the fucking exorcist crawl. Like
Yes,
that
yeah.
shit was, and when she becomes giant Ursula at the end, it's legit terrifying. It's legit like
I gotta
freaking
be honest,
demon.
guys. I swear I had nightmares of the original Ursula turning giant. Like giants scared the shit out of me as a kid. I can't explain why, but every time I saw one in a movie or show, like I just instantly like just
For
wanted
me-
to hide behind the couch.
For me, like, yeah, she's terrifying because she's tall,
Yeah.
but for me, what was really freaky was like her makeup. Like, she has these really dark eyes that are in shadow, and you could just see this like glowing, like little green little iris, you know.
Yeah.
And she's like, like a colossus, like, oh, and it's just like,
Yeah.
cool.
which is, we have to break down. So Tyler was right because I heard about the rumors, and this is why I love Critical Drinker for, is that these jackasses with modern Hollywood, modern Disney, they take it as, okay, Eric is saving Ariel, and of course, Ariel can't be saved by a man. But Drinker's like, the thing is, in the beginning, Ariel saves Eric's life. That's because Eric was going to die. So he returns the favor by saving Ariel's life. And of course, in this version, guess what? Eric is fucking on a rock. He's all helpless and pathetic. And of course, Ariel has to be the one to kill Ursula because, God forbid, the guy did the heroic saving. Like, you don't understand the complexity of the original cartoon.
Yeah, it's tit for tat. You know,
sakes,
you
man.
say it'll work if it was.
Not to mention, like during the shipwreck sequence, Eric literally ran into the fire to save people beneath him, which he did not have to do. Like, that's a good way to show why you're the ideal person to run this kingdom.
That wasn't in this one either.
And from what I understand, the only thing that's so interesting about Eric is that he's traveled around the world, and that's it.
Yeah, and I noticed like the actor too, like he's wandering around the fucking set, and I'm just like, this is like a pudgy actor. Like he looks kind of like Ryan Gosling in a wig, but he has like this paunch and this dad bod. I don't know. Maybe it's like the clothes he's wearing. I couldn't tell, but it's just
it has to be.
I thought all actors were like fucking ripped for some reason, like male actors anyway. But like that was the other thing, like talking about. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll talk about that part later. But I don't know what I mean. The idea, like Halle Bailey, I couldn't help but notice, like you're paying someone definitely like $100,000 to like digitally de-enhance her, and you're taking painstaking efforts to remove. This actress, I'm seeing pictures of her. I'm seeing pictures of her, and yeah, the girl's stacked. She's got some fucking jugs, like
Ariel's very flat chested in this movie.
C cups, and it's like, look, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not body shaming. I'm not being a horny pervert. You could be objective and say this woman is voluptuous, but the girl in the movie we saw is not, and they take very painstaking effort to make her like an A cup. And it's like, why don't you just hire an actress that doesn't have fucking huge jugs?
So,
or did she just go through a huge growth spurt after filming? I have no idea.
So her face and her voice are literally the only beautiful things about her in this. Because like when you see pictures of her in real life, like she's dynamite. Like
she's a good-looking girl,
light
man.
is bouncing off of her skin, and I love it when that happens.
She's a tiny little shorty. She's young. She's bubbly. She's everything you'd want in a fucking starlet, right? And yeah, her eyes are a little wide apart. It's grown on me, you know? And it's one of these things where it's like,
wouldn't have noticed.
as long as she fucking, here's the advice I'd give this young aspiring actress with the world ahead of her. However, these trolls, I mean, I'm sure there's legit constructive criticism being thrown her way. I'm sure there's legit racist trolls at her. No matter what kind of fucking comment she's getting, she really just has to bite the bullet and just kind of just like smile and say, hey, thanks for watching the movie anyway. You know, that's just the kind of fucking attitude these actors, these celebrities need to have. I'm sorry.
I literally said in my video, if Disney, the cast, crew, and everybody had just shut the fuck up about all of this, it would have died out.
If she can handle the fucking this trial by fire tribulation period that everyone goes through. You know, they go through a hazing. Sometimes when you break into the waves, you get roasted. And how you handle that roasting really determines like if we accept you into the fold. You know, and if she doesn't quit social media and doesn't like blame the racists, well,
if I'm being honest, like I'm not against anybody getting rid of social media. It kind of makes you dumber.
No, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying like her personally, like, I mean, yeah, keep your social media account and have someone operate it on your behalf kind of thing. You know, like most celebrities.
Yeah, like how Bella Ramsey she has to now.
Yeah.
But
the point is, I see a future for this actress.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, 5-10 years, she could be a great big name.
Well, she already has one. I mean, she has another movie coming out like in winter or something like that. They remade The Color Purple.
Oh,
and
see,
it's a musical.
Yeah. Okay. Again, this is one of those things where like her next few roles are going to be vital. But like she doesn't want to be another Ray Skywalker, Daisy Ridley. You know how to avoid being a Daisy Ridley or any of these other actors that they keep trying to like shove into the limelight and give a chance. Like they're giving you a chance, kid. So seriously, like,
well, I mean,
ignore the haters, ignore all the criticism, ignore all the praise too. Seriously, that's the other thing. Don't let that shit get to your head, and just fucking, just take some good scripts and pick good movies. The Color Purple, the musical, sounds terrible.
I can't believe it was a Broadway musical to begin with. That just sounds like such a fucking morbid.
I thought we had a problem with the Song of the South because it's a fucking slave doing musical numbers, right?
Well,
he's like on a plantation.
Technically, it's after the Civil War, except like abolitionists are still walking around, like looking at all the people who went back to their original farms or whatever because now their masters could pay them or whatever. I don't know what the fucking politics were.
Well,
like I've seen the first 20 minutes of Song of the South and it was boring. Like nothing happened.
One thing I want to ask both of you guys before we get to change too much that I'm sure have you heard of this happened even back in the day that Lindsay Lohan when she did Herbie. And apparently, like, her at 18 years old, her breasts were too fucking big for Herbie. So Disney digitally cut down her breast size for Herbie Fully Loaded. And recently now, apparently for fucking Black Panther 2, that his bulge was too big for Black Panther. If you look at Namor seems like he's about friggin' as hung as like a 9-year-old.
Bulge?
Namor. For Black Panther 2, he said they had to digitally reduce, and he confirmed himself. But it's if you look at the screenshots in Namor for Black Panther 2, the guy is about as hung as a fucking 8-year-old. So Disney's been doing this digital, shaving down body parts since Herbie fucking who knows when it started. But Lindsay Lohan is pretty stacked, and Herbie she's fucking flat chested.
It's back to one of those things where it's like I understand, like you work with young people, they go through puberty during shoots. It's weird. But like for the most part, it's like, why not just hire an actress who fits the fucking build you're going for? Like, I understand you don't want your kids' movie to have giant fucking cleavage hanging out in the whole movie. I understand.
Well, except for when they do.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
like no bullshit, Enzo. If you want at some point share a screen, it says right here. If you type in Wakanda Forever Namor Bulge, there's like all these articles pop up saying like, yeah, the actor in Disney talking about they had to digitally reduce his manhood for Black Panther 2.
See, that just
not
sounds
even
like
joking.
that sounds like a lie / humble brag, you know.
Mm.
But
the fact that it was even confirmed with fucking and Herbie Fully Loaded came out like what in 2008, 2009 or some shit. And
I think it was 2007 because like I saw
Yeah.
it when it came out.
Yeah. I mean, the point is, I don't want to spend this whole stream talking about these young actors' titties.
Yeah, but what you're saying, it's just like the point that like like Haley Berry, you've seen pictures in the past few weeks, and she's on the red carpet, and boy, she looks a lot different when she's not Ariel.
Right. It's one of those things you can't help but notice. Like, why take the painstaking effort and budget? Like, you pick the actress, right? And it's like, okay, she's selected, she can sing, she can act, she's lovely. She's also got D cups, and you're like, okay, well, there's an extra $100,000 right there just to pay the visual effects people, to pay the corset wardrobe people. We got to get chest binders or whatever the fuck, all that. It's like, why don't you just hire an actress who doesn't have giant titties? I don't understand. I don't care.
It's with that because even Drinker was talking about that in 2 videos ago. Remember the show now? So the show Chris Hemsworth had a shirt off to show like Thor's ass or something, but then Black Widow, she can't have a low cut shirt anymore, or Scarlet Witch has to have now sweatshirts on. And it's funny how the women keep getting more and more reduced to now they have a full body suit, no cleavage, but then guys are always
just
shirtless.
Imagine if this little actress was like in this movie with like her fucking Sports Illustrated clamshell fucking Bouzier. And like they're just all pressed together, like fucking dads would be like, "We're going to go see the Little Mermaid today," it'd be weird. So I understand you gotta find a middle ground, I guess.
It reminds me of like all the Disney Channel stuff that I saw back in the day, where like the actresses are complaining about how objectified they are, and I'm just sitting there going, "Okay, like guys on those Disney Channel shows, they did call you a hot chick a few too many times. Like I will give you that. On the other hand." It was the guys who had to walk around like in their underwear, whether they got pants or if they got a wedgie or whatever. Like that always bugged me as a kid whenever that happened to any boy on a show. So like, where the fuck is my fair deal on that one?
Right now, no bullshit. I just googled like Haley Bailey's breast. She's 19, boys. Don't worry about it. And first thing, this comes from the direct. She goes,
Haley 19. Haley, that's still pretty young.
Yeah, I'm saying, but
I thought she was older than me, if I'm being completely honest. But
she had just turned 18 or some shit.
But she's already has she's like Haley Bailey shuts down breast implant rumors. God gave me these boys, yeah. And you can Google. There's she's pretty fucking stacked.
This is the thing. Halle Bailey's next movie should not be like fucking Color Purple musical. She should be in like. I'm picturing like some kind of crime caper.
That's those things. It's like it's not like
kind of like.
But the three of us aren't doing it. As soon as you Google something, she has a fucking 1,000 pictures of her walk around in bikini. She's parading. She's proud of what God gave her. Okay, so if she wants to show it off, I'm gonna look like.
No, at the same time, that's why you can't help but notice when you're watching the movie. Finally, you're like, I saw pictures of her recently, and she doesn't look like this.
So trust me, it's like she's putting it out there and stuff, and she's of legal age. I mean, whatever. Guys,
maybe the movie was shot like a few years ago. I don't fucking know.
I've lost track of what the filming schedule is, but thanks for making me look at her underwater bra that looks leather as opposed to actual gills. But
yeah,
I mean, look, I'm not going to complain. Why are there not live action clamshells? Everybody knows the fucking answer to that one. But I went through her filmography.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Right now, she's 23 years old, so I damn sure don't fucking feel bad.
She's 23 now?
Yeah,
where's the time gone?
She's drinking age, guys. So, okay, I'm fine. I just Googled it right now, but yeah.
Weird.
Just share your fucking screen and show her in all of her glorious
bikini. She's aged like 4 or 5 years, but yeah, I mean, here's this fucking hilarious.
Hey, I'm 27. Like, don't.
Little Mermaid currently #1 in the world. 164 million. I mean, is that good or bad? I mean, for Memorial Day, that's pretty bad, right?
No, it comes down to it's a $200 million budget. So to break even, it's got to double that. Then to make money, it's got to triple that. So this movie, I guarantee it's not hitting 600 million.
I just love that the director shot his mouth off saying that like there's potential for live action sequels, and I'm just like, we saw the direct to DVD sequels. Like, don't bust your luck, pal.
I mean, the thing is, man, again, the movie's legitimately bad. Like, it's not. You don't need to be a racist or a sexist or an alt-right troll to say the movie is legitimately, it doesn't hit nearly as hard as the animated one. It's an hour longer, yet for some reason, I noticed they removed the best part of the animated one. The best part of the animated movie is for
Let me
sure
guess, Le Poisson.
this fucking chef guy cooking up fish, trying to kill the crab. There's like a whole subplot that was completely removed. The movie's an hour longer, and yet they still had to cut scenes. And they're like, what did they add?
That's like the one removed song that there legitimately is no explanation for. Like they flat out say, I don't know.
But it's not even a song. It's like a whole subplot because, like, you know, it's the crab Sebastian being chased, and then at the end, like the guy comes back for a second, and then they gotta, you know, like escape him a second time. What was his name?
Really?
Like Jacques or Jacques or
Chef
whatever.
Louis.
Oh,
Chef Louis.
Louis.
It was one of the guys from, I think, Next Generation that played him.
I guess it would have offended the vegetarians, you know, like a guy chopping up fish.
No, like if anything, well, if you've seen the original scene, like I think vegetarians would be validated by what happens to Louis.
Yeah.
Which again, like just shows what little thought would go into this. And it's insane because like everybody involved with this movie is a talented individual. Like they've thrown their ass into like so many other projects in the past, and I'm just sitting there going, what do the Disney execs have against Disney? It's like there is no way. There was like
I share her hair. Okay.
Oh,
I legitimately
think
your
hair. That's what you're doing.
See, the thing is, I legitimately
come on,
think,
guys.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I legitimately think that these Disney execs, you know, these guys are dumb. Fucking, we're getting to the point where these people in charge are like almost my age or
younger.
Okay,
right there. Holy shit! Come on.
No, I know.
Lose the strap, but other than that,
the same.
But here's
I
the
hate
thing.
those straps.
Yeah, I just think these Disney executives are like dumb, like fucking, you know, late 20-year-olds who have just been doing cocaine and they got these modern executives that are getting into this movie making business from nepotism and other various you know, who do you know type dealings. They don't even watch good movies. They don't know what it takes to make good movies. So they just kind of snort their cocaine and just be like, yeah. And then we'll put lots of inclusivity in there and we'll have a rap song. And you know, I just think it's like, I don't even think there's a rhyme to reason to these people like signing off to this shit.
Yeah, like there's no. Lin-Manuel named his first son after Sebastian. So like there is no way that he signed on to this project to tank it. Like he obviously wanted to throw something in that he thought
paychecks, man.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing: he has like a shit ton of paychecks already to begin with. Because I mean, In the Heights was enough of a success to get Hamilton off the ground, and Hamilton is still massive. Like there's a possibility that Hamilton might outdo the Lion King Broadway musical at some point. And like I've seen the Lion King Broadway musical. It's technically better because of the creativity that came into the story. Well, because like the half human, half puppet aspects of it, like the African culture and the way the costumes and sets are so beautifully designed. Like the guy playing Mufasa is wearing like a Mufasa wooden head with like an antenna attached to it, and it sounds stupid, but like it's amazing. Like, Can You Feel the Love Tonight had these, I don't know, what felt like trapeze artists who were like dancing around in the air with ribbons, and it was insane. Like just the most basic things. There was an entire song that starts off the second act that's entirely in Swahili, except for the title of the song, One by One. And like, you don't need to know the lyrics to find that it's a good song. For starters, it's an a cappella, and exactly,
100% right.
Exactly, writing by committee. They're looking at the most popular tweets. They're looking at the most popular influencers, and they think that they're the target demographic, and they're not. Like the thing is, if you show those exact people you claim to be influenced by the final product, they're going to regret every single thing that they said before that.
Yeah, well, Kyle talks about how Posey, he was doing that stream with yesterday. We watched Mario Brothers 90s movie, and he was saying, like, yeah, the Disney people, what they do for a lot of these movies is film like 10 different versions of like multiple scenes, and then the test audiences like compile like a choose your own adventure movie basically based on what they want.
Well, that's the reason that fucking Indiana Jones is reportedly $300 million to fucking make this movie, because all the all the test audiences and reshoots and bullshit they've gone through because of that. It's
And then when they
Insane.
premiered at Cannes, which how the
But
fuck did
back-
that get into Cannes?
But back to like
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel, it reminds me of like Harrison Ford. Like people are like, "Oh, Harrison Ford, you know, he just seems like he's phoning it in." It's like that's because they're
Yeah.
begging him to make this
Yeah.
shit.
It's because he's
Lin-Manuel is
80.
also. I never liked Lin-Manuel's
Yeah.
music, but even the Lin-Manuel fans are like, "He's phoning it in." Yeah, because they're like begging him, like, "Please,
Yeah.
we'll give you $50 million to make one song."
Well, not
It's
just
true.
that, like Lin-Manuel works literally every day of his life, and he
Yeah.
doesn't take a break, and it's really starting to show.
Yeah.
Yeah, equity forces everything into gray and average. It's not
Well-
a good thing. Now the quality is kidnapped by the lowest common denominator. Thank
Yeah.
you, Mr. Silly. That
Well,
is-
you know what sucks? I mean, this would be a whole deeper podcast and discussion. But what Tyler was saying, there's a point where it's like, okay, guys, like, say just one example, Sam Raimi. Oh shit, Sam Raimi, Evil Dead and stuff. And this guy's done like Army of Darkness and fucking Xena Warrior Princess. And Sam Raimi will be a great candidate for making Doctor Strange 2. And it's like now, but his name is tagged on, but so busy where it's not really Sam Raimi's film, it's Disney's film, because Sam Raimi has to go through like all these check boxes. You know
There
what
are
I mean?
check boxes, but I feel like his style still shines through.
Yeah,
if
I
I'm
mean-
being completely honest.
But I'm just saying,
He's
like
got-
the point is, but if Sam Raimi would directed that film the way he wanted to, it would have been a way different film.
Oh,
It's
trust
like,
me. Like I
know.
know for a fact, it shows that he. I mean, the Illuminati thing is proof that he didn't have carte blanche over it.
Yeah.
But the parts that he does, like the
Yeah.
kooky camera angles, the weird surreal scenarios,
Yeah.
just how fucking violent they let him get. Like the
Yeah.
fact that they let him go that far is amazing.
Oh,
in and of
definitely.
itself.
But that's the whole point. Was like, there was a time where it's like when you would hear like Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Sam Raimi, you would hear a director's name like Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie has a fucking style. But if Guy Ritchie makes a Disney fucking film, or if he makes a Lucas fucking film, it's not really Guy Ritchie. It's like, yeah, there's parts
You
of
talk
him,
about
but,
Aladdin.
I was actually
100%.
thinking. I was actually thinking about that. I was thinking about like the final musical number is basically a Bollywood style thing, the very thing that people actually wanted from an Aladdin remake. And I'm just sitting
Yeah.
there going, okay, so like Guy Ritchie could have done that, but
Yeah,
you
that's-
didn't let him. But I
that's-
swear to God, if it was S.S. Rajamouli, the guy who made RRR,
Yeah.
the entire thing would have been like Bollywood style from beginning to end.
Right.
Just like
yeah.
how Shang-Chi is a Jackie Chan movie from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's like you're
no
saying-
other director would be allowed to do that.
Yeah, like I said, like either go all in, like fucking literally, like yeah, if the Aladdin movie was literally a Bollywood film directed by a Bollywood director, that would have been incredible. Like I didn't even think of that. Like, and the idea is like, why don't you make this whole movie all black people in Jamaica? Like the whole movie's got a Rastafarian vibe and make it fucking
Yeah.
modern day. Who gives a shit? I don't care.
I can't believe I'm
Yeah.
saying this, but like Disney has its own a cappella group called D Capella. Their covers are have so much more creativity and imagination
Wow.
than any movie in particular.
Well, that's the other thing, like talking about like phoning everything in, like, everyone's phoning it in because everyone's just like stretching the dollar as far as it can go. Everyone's trying to skim a little off the top. That's why these budgets are so overinflated. And it's just like all these bureaucratic, like all the guilds and the what's the words I'm looking for? The
Focus
groups.
groups?
No, like where the actors, the screen actors and all the goddamn Jimmy Hoffa used to fucking used to hate goddamn unions. There you go, unions. Thank you, all the fucking unions with the actors and the screen actors union and the actors union and the writers unions and the fucking props people unions. Everyone's got to make sure they're not getting mistreated and paid enough and they're allowed
Yeah.
breaks. And that's
And
why
not
these
gonna,
budgets.
well, and here's the thing, like what I said about special effects, unionization of effects artists would probably result not only in like it would probably result in higher quality work because at the very least they would have to take their time to make sure that what they're
okay.
doing is top tier.
I predict special effects are going to go through a huge goddamn boom because of AI. The AI cinema stuff, like, dude, it's going to be a huge weight lifted off the individual animators themselves,
I don't know. Like I tried making thumbnails with an AI generator and
Don't worry if you couldn't do it.
No,
Other people are able to do it.
That was not what happened.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, but
It's
let
not.
me show you.
It's not Ben
Yeah.
Shapiro. It's not Ben Shapiro generating Justin Trudeau on a swing set being pushed by his father Fidel. Which, as a Canadian, I can attest to that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like, oh damn it, I can't even pull up the stupid videos.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Yeah, like as far as like AI generated explosions and stuff, I was watching that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, like fire effects and shit. It's like, holy crap. And a click of a button, you know, it's just like crazy, explosions and fireballs synthesized out of nowhere. But yeah, as far as back to what I was saying with like, why these movies are just gradually getting worse and worse with these like, writing by committee. We need a Howard Hughes type
No.
nibbas.
For the hell of it, I had to check the comment section. Sometimes it's gold for little. I typed in Little Mermaid Aquafina, and freaking the top comment 5,000 likes. He says this song is amazing. I use it as an alarm clock, and I wake up an hour earlier just to avoid it ringing.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I gotta incorporate that at some point then.
Yeah. Just type for YouTube Little Mermaid Aquafina. I'm reading it. It's got 7,000 comments, and holy Christ, the comment section is just man.
You know, I found one example of not an entire TV show, but just like the first episode alone of this one show that's on Disney Plus. And I'm just sitting there going, this main character basically describes what is wrong with Disney in terms of characters and messages.
Love this.
There's this show called The Owl House, and it's one of those like kid gets trapped in a magic portal, has to find ways to get back home.
Yeah.
Except she voluntarily stays in this realm for one specific reason. She's one of those weird kids that just like doesn't understand why her way of doing things is wrong. Like she's pulled into the principal's office because her book report somehow involves reenacting a dragon slaying with like a doll wizard and some real snakes that bite classmates.
Nice.
Or a Romeo and Juliet thing where as Juliet is committing suicide, she pulls sausages out from underneath her costume.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there going, okay, it's nice that Disney Channel is going dark. I like that part. But then her overall mission to try and get home in the first episode is break into this prison that is literally called the Conformatorium, where people are locked in for stuff like, I don't know, doing fan fiction of food falling in love, or a guy who has 8 eyeballs and eats them but pops back into his skull, or a conspiracy theorist who believes in freedom of expression. It's just like, you guys didn't do anything wrong. You guys are just weirdos like me. There's nothing wrong with being who you are. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, you are the wrong person on planet Earth to be saying any of this shit.
I'm left some of these fucking comments. I can't stop, guys, where it's like, this guy said the Aquafina song. This song is legit catchy. It's kind of like the flu. You know, it's probably not going to kill you, but it doesn't stop you from wishing for death. Every second you have to endure it.
God.
I'll give it that.
Poor lady.
It's
hey, she did it to herself by trying to get famous,
dude. I later on after the stream, I'm gonna spend half hour reading the comment section. That it's holy shit. People are ripping that song a fucking part.
But it's just she's just one of those comedians, quote unquote comedians, that thinks just because she's yelling everything she's saying, it makes it funny. It's like, no, it doesn't. It makes it annoying. I don't know. I had a friend say that she loved Aquafina, and I was like, for real? Like, we talk about the same. Is there another person named Aquafina? I don't know. Are you talking about the water?
See, my mom put on Shang-Chi a couple days ago, and when she said I love her, I just sat there and went, wish I could do this. I wish I could say the same.
Dude,
I think when girls say they love her, I think it means they wish they had her as a friend.
I know, because I downloaded the Google Chrome thing for the iMac, and you can download the dislike ratio. So the song.
I did that just to see like the teaser trailer for this.
Dude,
like when I was at TIFF for 2022, like this trailer dropped. I was all alone in my guest house, and I'm just sitting there going, I need to know for sure what people actually think of this.
Yeah.
And when I saw the dislike button, there was a sigh of relief. When I saw the Woman King thing, it has like a 10% approval rating.
Oh yeah,
10.
Black people didn't like that shit either.
Even though all the comments are literally calling out the historical context of this.
Well, again, it's more like filmmaking gaslighting, dude. It's just like, like you just try to fucking gaslight us and tell us that these movies are good. And the reason why people don't like them is because problems with them. You're the problem if you don't like this movie. And anyone who doesn't like this movie, they sound like they're a problem too. Who else? Anybody else in here a problem? Oh, we got problems we need to deal with in here. Like, that's the fucking attitude they give us. The fucking viewers. You're making this movie for us, you shitheads. It's like, we don't like it. It sucked. I'm sorry.
Guys, type in like Hollywood hates you unless you agree with them. There's a really good video essay about that.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, and as soon as like you even if you're in the fold, you're one of them. Like, dude, the guy who did the voice of fucking what's his name, Jimmy Pesto from Bob's Burgers, he's He's off the show. He's been fired. He's totally removed from everyone. Because why? Because someone got like a picture of him at the January 6th protests outside the building, like in the fucking field with like 1,000 other people. It's crazy. It's crazy,
Wait,
dude.
What's the actor's name?
I don't remember. He was in Mr. Show, Bob and David. He's a fucking hilarious guy. Jimmy Pesto, whoever does his voice. But yeah, great guy. I mean, I've always been a fan of his. I didn't even know he was a goddamn January 6er. And honestly, after I found that out, I like him more. Seriously. Like, Christ. Again, it's just the gaslighting constantly. We're getting gaslit about everything. Like the movies we watch are good. The politicians we have are good. The economy, it's all good. Everything we tell you is everything they're fucking telling us is a lie, to the point where even the movies we're consuming, they're fucking literally lying about like how we should be feeling about this shit. It's fucking disgusting. And this is why are 4 grown men in here, 3 grown men talking about the Little Mermaid movie? It's like, it's a bigger issue than that.
Because here's the thing. We work long hours for jobs that drain us out of all our energy.
Yes.
And we pour it into things that actually like give us enjoyment and fulfillment. If you're someone who works like 40 hours a week and goes to see a concert, that's what we're doing here. We want to like escape from the world. We don't want to be fucking reminded of the very thing that drives us insane for the other 24 free hours of our lives.
And, and not to mention, so many times I hate this bullshit with like guys, you aren't the target audience. Like, listen, assholes, I have 3 younger sisters, so I was forced to watch shit like, Little Mermaid or something, or Snow White. But then
Your
again,
father,
you
are the target audience. You're the fucking parent. You should be.
It's like, when Little Mermaid came out, I was 10 years old, but I still had 2 younger sisters that were obsessed with Ariel. So I want, because it's like most families, you have, our parents wanted to buy, the fucking VHS, they wanted TV, and it couldn't be 100% Christmas time for the TV. Sometimes I had to go with my sisters to the movie theater, and I would watch Little Mermaid, or I'd watch like Aladdin or something. But even though like for Little Mermaid, I'm not the target audience, I love that fucking movie. It's
they
just
have
like,
to appeal to like, that's the idea, is like, you don't appeal to everybody, you appeal the hell out of like your target audience, and like the appeal will radiate outwards, where people that aren't in the target audience will also appreciate
100%.
what's going on. That's why
it's not
this
just
could have been this could have been the movie to put feminist empowerment into the movie, but you could have done it a better way,
Not to mention, like, I watched my sister's VHSs as much as like the ones that are meant strictly for me. I
100%.
watched Little Mermaid. I watched Aladdin. I watched Beauty and the Beast without her in the room.
Yeah.
Like, who fucking cares?
Not to mention, like, I would ask this question to any of these fucking feminists or any modern people. So who's the target audience of The Lion King?
The remake or the
everybody?
Like, but the cartoon.
I'm not even kidding when I say
it's fucking
this.
lions. Who's the
I'm
target
not even
audience?
kidding.
Dude,
this is no joke.
It's literally fratricide. It's fucking Hamlet. It's
This is a true statement. Like, my parents went to Aladdin and The Lion King in the theater before I was born. Like, I'm the oldest of 2. Those were deep movies. Like, fucking everybody loved Disney at some point, whether you were a kid or you were an adult. Hell, when I came home from Walmart with my Luca Blu-ray, my mom looked at it and thought it was Encanto, and she actually got excited. So, like, who fucking cares? And here's the thing. If, for example, a movie like Encanto made by and with Hispanic culture is strictly for Hispanic culture, you are doing a disservice to everybody. Because if you have to like celebrate this stuff every year in order to understand it, what's that going to do for everybody else? How is that going to make people understand your demographic a hell of a lot more?
Yeah.
It's like what Chris Stuckman said when he reviewed the Black Christmas remake and said, like, you're a man, the movie's not for you. And, because Chris Stuckman goes both ways, he knows it's not that simple. He just goes, if you want to explain, like, the problem of sexual violence, especially in college, wouldn't you want men to see this to understand what it feels like without tearing them down?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like everything's shitting on white men, but yet the main object of desire is
in all honesty,
Ariel.
like,
Is
I
this
have-
random white dude?
I have no idea how to show off my tattoos just because my camera is so. Thank you. Why is this? Okay, for whatever reason, my camera is kind of slanted, but you know what? I'm just gonna
Shoulder
show.
arm.
I'm just. I don't know why it's incredibly hard to show, but like, do I need to be a woman in order to find this girl fascinating, or this girl, honest to God, one of my favorite characters of all time?
I don't.
Like
I mean,
she's a homeless teenager who is. Hear me out on this.
okay.
She's a homeless teenager who is being abused by her mother for the sake of like stealing from other people for her benefit. And the second that she does is like tossed into another magical realm where she spends months literally talking to herself, driving herself insane. And when she's brought back into the real world by her friends who realize the situation and don't blame her at all, she still like has PTSD and these weird surreal nightmares of her friends like turning their backs on her because of the mistakes she made in the past. You can be a guy, a girl, whatever, and understand all of those emotions perfectly. Like there are still people.
See, this is why I like bringing you on these, Tyler, because you're younger and you're way more immersed in the Disney culture, you know, and you're like legit.
But I'm also one of the few people my age that realizes and kind of remembers.
You're like one of the few based Canadians I know.
And
that's the thing is like when someone like you ends up like saying base shit here and there, I'm like, man, then that's how I know it's like we're on the side of truth. Because like
I'm just sitting there and like the very end of my non-review for Little Mermaid is a montage of like every character from like Black, Brown, Asian, whatever demographic, and there is a lot of them. Just to show, like, every time I hear there's a lack of representation, I'm like, well, explain this. This is like 20 years in the making, and the majority of these characters are not based off of anything. Their skin color and their ethnicity is like maybe 10% of their character, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, this movie could have done really well, both critically and commercially, if it had been, because like, you obviously don't want a note for note remake, but you also want to change some, you don't want to change too much. So it's like I was saying earlier, like literally just make the set in Jamaica and have everyone be like fucking Rastafarian, except for like a few white people peppered here and there. But for the most part, like, yeah, make Ariel black, make Triton black, make everyone Jamaican. And just that kind of like change to the aesthetic, you know, because we're in the Caribbean, you know, the beach, the island, you know, like just that kind of, that would be enough change. And of course, Sebastian, he's the only character that like talks in an English accent now, you know, like, but just like that kind of, those kind of little cosmetic changes can work if you stick to the landing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just like change a setting would be nice. You know, that's always fun when they take like a remake, like an old Shakespeare play and change the setting. It's like, that's fun.
It's a point that like Tyler was saying, and even you, Enzo, is that just we're so tired of this whole like forced representation because people can see in the target audience, like Fast 10. Okay, guys, we know the Fast and Furious films, they are targeted obviously to a male audience. I brought a girl with me who hasn't watched the Fast and Furious film since the first one, and she's like, Chris, it was stupid and fun and glorious for all the right reasons. And yeah, it's like what is your quote unquote target audience? It's like Moana. I brought Moana with two girls that weren't my own, but my one girlfriend's two daughters that were white with blonde hair and blue eyes, and they loved Moana. Does Moana only to appeal to girls that are Jamaican?
Yeah, no, you're supposed to scold
Samoan?
them. You're supposed to scold them and tell them, hey, girls, you're not supposed to relate to this lady. She's darker than you, you know? Like,
the first Little Mermaid. The first Little Mermaid looked at the box office, 1989, did 220 million just at the box office, which back in 1989 is pretty fucking impressive for an animated movie. It wasn't just in 1989 only white people going to see the Little Mermaid. It's like,
I think obviously, like, you know, when you know, Megan was in here earlier saying her and her friend Alex have no interest in watching the new one. I think it's because they themselves are both redheads, so they personally are probably slighted by this remake because it's like, hey, I always got the original to relate to because obviously I could, you know, but at the same time, like, I'm joking, you know, obviously it's like most people, I mean, no, it doesn't. I had no problems relating to Steve Urkel as a kid. You know what I mean? Or Carl Winslow as an adult.
I always felt like, yeah, Steve Urkel was like me, where in a sense that, okay, just because we have different skin tones, I know what it's like to be in love with a girl who won't give me the fucking time of day. I know what it's like to wear, at one point I was wearing glasses. I was a fucking nerd. I was in a chess club. I just did everything that Steve Urkel did because we had different skin tones, which it's supposed to come down to your characteristic of your person, not the pigmentation of your skin. And this is why people, it's like, yeah, guys, I mean, fucking Lord of the Rings did $3 billion. It wasn't just white people going to see Lord of the Rings. Like,
No, yeah.
you're
I
all
mean,
fucking damn,
it's
man.
definitely all nerds that go to see Lord of the Rings. That's the thing. White, black, Asian, doesn't matter. We're all nerds. That's the thing. And the Little Mermaid, it's like, yeah, all the people there, it's like, yeah, black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. It's all, mostly little girls, and it's the same thing. It's just like, who cares about the skin color? And it's like, we don't, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I said, it is a little weird. Like the only problem I had with the skin color was the mother, like I said, because it is like, it's that posturing where like, we're going to create a new character who's like the queen. We have a queen now. And it's like, I thought all you guys harp about is how like fucking monarchies and land ownership and those people are evil, colonizers. So why it's like the toxic masculinity thing. Like, we're going to make a strong female character. We're going to give her all the fucking shit we complain about when a man does it and just make her do it. And that's cool. So now we're just going to take a black woman and make her do all the things that a fucking George Washington type character would do. And that makes it better. I don't understand how this, I don't know how this is appealing to want to see or like something we asked for. All the changes you could have done to this movie, like Chris was saying, it's like, dude, the stuff about like the actual spell and the magic and the mermaid sirens and the fucking the Atlantis city, like all that stuff is what you should have built on.
Yeah, these guys, there's so many great ideas that they just didn't capitalize on. There's just a lot of stuff you could have did with this movie. So, shit, I think it's me and Tyler now.
How does the host freeze on his own damn screen?
Well, I was gonna say, Tyler, whenever Enzo catch up, that I 100% understand where you're coming from, but like the drinker, I sent him a super chat, but I always catch up on the replay. I said, hey, drinker, like, it's like we knew that Peter Pan and Wendy would be shit, but drinker actually had to watch Peter Pan and Wendy to criticize it. And I still feel like I know where you're coming from, where it's like, don't give Disney money, but because I keep promoting the Regal app, it's like, guys, well, I didn't pay for it. But I feel like unless I sit down and like I can watch clips all fucking day, it's like part of my YouTube channel is, guys, I did suffer through this fucking film. So it's like, because people would say that, well, you can't say a film is shit if you didn't watch it. Like I could say that, listen, Pepsi Zero was fucking shit. Did you drink it? Well, I didn't drink it, but Tyler and Enzo said it's shit. But did you drink it yourself? Well, no. Then how can you say it's shit if you didn't drink it yourself?
I get the logic behind it.
I can definitely
Coke and Pepsi, whatever, but
Here's the thing,
I'm in Texas, so it's all Dr. Pepper, and that's it.
So I gotta take off in a couple minutes, but like
sure.
I will say to Chris, like, you definitely have a valid point, and normally I would have said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But when I decided to do videos where I talk about why I don't want to see them, it's usually ones that are based off of stuff that we've already seen before. Yeah. And it started when I mentioned in our private messenger when I saw Doug Walker do like a non-review of the Transformers movies, where he basically lays down the formula for the first three and says, this will probably happen in the fourth one. And when it comes down to The Little Mermaid, just comparing it to all the remakes that we've gotten in the past, it just feels like the exact same thing. And Walker himself flat out said, I don't blame the actors. I don't blame the crew. This whole thing feels as manufactured as the rest of them do.
Yeah.
And like, and it's the same thing with Fast 10. Like, I've grown tired of just how absurd the stunts are. Like, I totally get why people find it entertaining. And I wish that Jason Momoa intrigued me as much as everybody else did. Like, I'm probably going to watch clips. I'm probably going to watch it on streaming once it comes out. But like, at the same time, I know exactly what's going to happen. And I know whether or not it'll be fun for me anymore. And the fact of the matter is, with this one, with Little Mermaid especially, I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to enjoy it by any stretch.
I agree with you 100%.
And with Drinker, like, dude made a video about The Little Mermaid and Peter Pan and Wendy specifically. So I just sat there and I'm like, you're going to do a separate videos that say exactly what you just did already. It just seems
Yeah.
so redundant.
Which I 100% like. I would tell people the only reason I saw this film, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't. That's why I said The Lion King. The Lion King came up before my YouTube channel. I didn't see that shit because I knew it was fucking terrible. I only saw this because people would say, "Chris, did you actually see this film? Here's my ticket stubs. Here's my kid. I sat down. I suffered through this shit. So you can take my criticism seriously." But,
dude. And with The Lion King, like I knew the original Lion King was a huge hit when I saw the re-release, and it was a fucking packed theater. You know, they re-released it like a year later. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, fucking Lord of the Rings came out the 20th anniversary of Return of the King. Did like what, $5 million or some shit for over a 20-year movie? Like, it's come on.
Yeah, it's like the movies, they have rewatchability factors. Like we've talked about it before, how like the animated movies just don't age. You know, they're timeless.
But I was just the point before Tyler heads out, like, the people say in the group, like, why would you go see this film for? I said, guys, only if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't even use my Regal app to see Little Mermaid, but I did it just to get more views on my channel. That's all I've seen this shit for.
I've gotten 120 views for my non-review and 127 from like a 15-second clip of me like as Gilbert Gottfried doing Bohemian Rhapsody just to prove my point. And I like to say that I did a bang up job. Like I'll send you guys the link if you don't believe
I'll
me,
watch it.
Yeah, you know where to find it.
Well, as far as like, we'll probably talk about Little Mermaid some more, but like, before you leave, Tyler, I guess we were also going to talk about the Flipside JOMO, which you don't know what that is, so don't worry. But also, it is Memorial Day though, so I was also going to ask like, what were y'all's favorite like war movies and shit?
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure. That's a good one for sure. All right. Well, obviously it's good Memorial Day. Even outside hanging out with the crows.
My Memorial Day is in November and it's called something else, but
hey. Yeah.
But in any case, Separify, and in a strange way, this was fun talking about. I will give it that.
This was one of those dumb streams where I came up with the name Memorial Day, and I was just like, well, now we gotta fucking talk about Mermaid movie, and I gotta fucking watch it. It's one of those things where I was like,
shit, how did I miss the R? Fuck.
Yeah, Memorial Day. Get it?
Damn it.
This is why
I thought it was a memorial for the only dignity Disney had.
No. That too. It's a double entendre, Ducky. Yeah, exactly. We are paying respects to another fallen comrade of ours, the fucking Little Mermaid. What a great title. You know what I mean? I was bragging about it when I was in the chat earlier, like a day ago. I was like, dude, Memorial Day. I showed that to Lord Toxic, and he was not happy. He was like, how dare you ask me?
Well,
to come on this
shocker.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
He would say that.
I don't blame him. I was like, totally.
He asked the wrong guy. Although
I'm not asking you to be on. I'm just asking you what time you want to watch Commando today. That's the other thing. We're gonna watch Commando today later, so that should be fun.
Well, you guys have fun, and as always, Enzo, thanks for having me on.
Of course, Tyler. Take it easy, Tyler Wolf. Everyone.
I will let you know how Burt Kreischer's The Machine is.
Oh yeah.
Hours.
Oh, that's the movie you're gonna go see. Hell yeah. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
So
say goodbye to Tyler Blue.
Yeah, bye. I'm drinking more of this shit. So
take it easy, Chris.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I was saying.
What was he saying? I'll go on a pee break while you guys were saying goodbye. So
yeah. I just asked him what his favorite war movie was. Saving Private Ryan, of course.
I can't debate that.
Oh, I just noted. He just noticed the R in Memorial Day. He was like, "Oh!" I was like, "Yes." I was joking about how this is one of those streams where like I didn't want to watch The Little Mermaid. This is what. See, I'm the odd man out. Where it's like usually I'm the guy. I refuse to watch this contemporary crap. Like I'll wait around. I'll wait till the HD version comes out, and I don't care. By that time, the movie's already been out for 5 months. Everyone like I just saw the Mario movie. Get it? But like this is one of the few times where I'm like, okay, I'll bite the bullet. I'll fucking watch the movie, and of course, I've done nothing but suffer for it. You know, I'm over here streaming to an audience of nobody, talking about it for a couple hours, just like venting, just grown men just like screaming into the void. The children's movie was bad.
Well, if Meg ever sees this, you talk to Meg, I could say to my sister Jamie. Jamie's just like, I was texting her during the film. I was like, Jamie, she's like, Chris, how was it? And she knows I was going to see. My sister, this is her favorite movie of all time.
You should be telling her you're asking the wrong guy, sweetheart. Yeah. Like I'm biased.
But
of course, I'm going to say it's bad.
Oh yeah, but she's like, is it bad? Is it bad as I imagine? I said it's fucking worse. But she's like, I said, Jamie, watch this on Disney Plus drunk. She's like, Chris, I can't even watch it drunk on Disney Plus. That's how much I fucking hate the fact that this movie exists. Like,
Just watch the shitty cam version on F movies, man. Jesus Christ.
no, so she won't even watch it on Disney Plus. She's like, no, I would never watch this fucking film. So I was like, and
This
I can't
is
blame
not
her.
even worth
Yeah,
the time of day. Yeah, watch it
Yeah.
like at double speed, you know.
Nah, she wouldn't get at that. No, always she texts me. She's just like, how's my nephew doing? How's he enjoying his birthday? I said, he's like, Dad. I was like, buddy, once this film was over, I took him to an expensive dinner. I bought him some video games, took him to Dave and Buster's. I'm like, I know you had to suffer for 2.5 hours with your dad, but I'm gonna make it up to you.
Yeah. Well, again, like I can't commend you enough for showing up on time. I don't know how you do it. You're like, all right, I'll just drive drunk as hell 90 miles an hour, 2 hours away.
I texted my girl. I was like, honey, I've never in my life drove 100. I had to test.
Man, you don't need to be risking your life like that for these stupid streams. If you had popped in right now, it would have been fine. Be like, hey, Tyler just left. Perfect timing. Chris.
I've seen 10 Fast and Furious films. Okay, I'm experienced.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I've seen Vin Diesel do it before.
Paul
Walker died in a fucking car crash. You know what I mean?
To the crack, I got to give a Tesla fucking plug. I had a Tesla today going 100 miles an hour.
I mean, yeah, you definitely want to test the thing. Yeah, I see what you're saying. As long as you're on an empty road, not
empty
zippering through cars.
Dude, I was doing Mario Kart.
Wow, you're like throwing shells at people. Out of my way. Yeah, I get it. Like, you got aggressive drivers up where you're at, dude.
Yeah.
Out where we're at in Texas, it's like, if you don't share the road, you're a some bitch. Like, you ain't driving on the right line. If you're in the left lane's only for passing, you fucking stay your ass in the right lane.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, yeah.
I tell you one thing, I'm having a lot of fun with Uber. People, like, I've had passengers say, I've never felt more comfortable in a car besides you driving. I'm like, I missed my call. I should have been an Uber driver a fucking decade ago. Like, I'm a good fucking driver. Like,
did you watch Speed yet?
I've been busy with stuff. So.
No, because I was like, you didn't say anything, so I assumed like you either hated it or you haven't seen it. I was like, because you were talking. Okay, never mind.
Go ahead.
Well, it was joking because, like, I don't want to talk about like any of that, but like, for instance, like I definitely made some misogynist jokes.
Oh God.
And I remember like that was brought to my light, and I was just like,
that's what we do.
It's true. Yeah.
No. I've talked to my girl though. She loves your streams. She's like Meg, where she can roll with the guys.
You'd be shocked to find out it was Queef that was like, "Hey man, like chill on the misogyny, bro." I was like, "Who fucking told you to say this?" Was it?
Yeah. Gotta have you gotta have a sense of humor doing this shit. That's what I said. It's like,
it was my joke about how women. Anytime you give women a fucking ounce of authority, they always abuse it. Stand behind the line. Yeah. That joke. No, it's true.
That's what I love about my girl is she listens to fucking Russell's videos, our videos when she can. Just like it's always just timing. It's just like she gets out of work at 6. We go live. It's always timing. But no, she loves.
But she hasn't seen it either. Yeah.
No, she wants to watch. She said it's just like everyone's always fucking. It's just dude. Even like doing Uber now, everyone's always fucking busy.
But yeah, back to this bullshit. Again, I keep seeing these articles like that are like they're from all the usual players, all the fucking the mainstream media, the guys that are on the payrolls, saying, "Hey, this movie's actually good." It's always back and forth. Like, "Hey, this movie, it's gonna make 190 million. It's gonna make 80 million. It's gonna make 100." How much money did this movie make more the weekend? 164 million. I don't.
The numbers change every fucking second. I swear.
But the point is, like, what are normal Memorial Day weekend movies? And I remember that was the other. I said Mermorial, didn't I? I'm gonna say it from now on. Memorial Day.
Goddamn mermaid.
But let's see. Memorial Day box office numbers.
Well, before we talk about that, one thing I would always tell these jackasses, like this fucking person from Forbes, that Eric Kane here, Eric, trust me, dude, I wasted 2.5 hours of my son and my life of his fucking time. I'd rather take my kid to play to a go-kart place to fucking see Fast 10, something stupid and fun. Nobody ever drops 15, 20, 30 fucking dollars with concessions of popcorn. Nobody spends their hard-earned money expecting to see a shitty film. So this whole review bombing thing is total and utter bullshit. Simple as that, man.
The other thing, it's like,
come on.
Yeah, back to the reviews. Yeah, it's like they talk about review bombing because it's obviously suspicious when we have a bunch of number zeros, a bunch of 1-star reviews in the ratings, right? But then they have like pretty much the same number of 10s, and they ignore that. Like, you're going to tell me in the same breath that this movie was a 10? Fuck off. That's review boosting, review glowing, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah. And every one of these people, I would say to this guy like Eric, okay, Eric, so you're telling me in your lifetime, dude, is a film person on fucking Forbes. So every single film you've ever seen in your entire fucking life is always a 10 out of 10. Every fucking movie.
That's how you can tell who's like
off,
who are the bullshit movie critics. When you look at their like roster of all the movies and you see all their stars like side by side, and you'll be like, wait a minute, you gave the Little Mermaid remake the same rating as you gave fucking, Schindler's List. Like when you compare like these movies, you realize like, oh, they basically just give good ratings to what they're paid to give good ratings, and bad ratings to what they're told to give bad ratings to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just pretty sad. And then like, again, it's like, obviously this is going to be another Rotten Tomato. Dude, I might have said this before, but 15 years ago, I'd open up a new tab and my homepage was Rotten Tomatoes. That's how much I give a shit about movies. Like 20 years ago, Rotten Tomatoes was my homepage. That was like first thing I want to see is like what's going on with movies. What's like, I used to trust Rotten Tomatoes, and like, dude, now it's like I don't believe a goddamn thing Rotten Tomatoes says anymore. And of course, it's like the audience, verified audience. We sense fuckery in the IMDb rating, so we're giving it an adjusted rating of 95% from the verified audience.
It's like you would say, right? The thing is, you would say, okay, Rotten Tomatoes, right? Okay, right now it has a 97% approval rating. It must be doing good. Okay, guys, if that was the case, then why does the trailer have 10 million downvotes and 1 million upvotes? So
well, because of racist trolls. Racist trolls, they don't like the fact that there's a black woman in The Little Mermaid. No, it's more like we don't like these stupid live action movies. They're bad. They have not. You're not winning us over.
I said in my video when my video's done, I'll upload. I said, guys, the first thing me and my kids said, okay, listen, let's get the elephant out of the fucking room. Even if like if Ariel in this film was a fucking white girl with green eyes and red hair, it still would have been a shitty movie. Simple as fucking that. It's like
you had the little girl from the It remake. She's playing Ariel. It's like it would have been the same reaction.
Just when I fucking say it, like her acting, I called it in the video. Halle Berry to joke about this. Halle Berry's acting in this fucking film, that was the least of the fucking problems in this fucking movie.
Like I said, she's like one of the few things I, enjoyed about the movie. She's a fine actress. She's a lovely little girl.
She did a very good Ariel impression. I said, it's like,
she's got a wonderful voice. She's a singer. And, Christ, like I said, she's got a career ahead of her if she can handle the legit. Because, like, for sure, I've definitely seen like legit fucking racism thrown her way.
Oh, of course.
There's racists on the internet. This is why you shouldn't read the fucking, and that's like I said, they'll take the fucking one legitimately offensive, remark and say, obviously, this is why the movie's getting 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
It's like, no. An internet troll leaving a fucking comment on a YouTube video is not the same as people voting on fucking Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb.
I said this shit on Facebook. Okay, they say, okay, it's only fucking white people. So what about every TikTok video, every YouTube video I've seen from a black person say, listen, I'm black, I've seen Little Mermaid, it's fucking terrible. So apparently, only the haters, only white people. But how many fucking TikToks and YouTubes? Okay, even my girlfriend's like, my girlfriend she's a fucking Puerto Rican, okay, and she's like, Chris, this movie looks like shit. So why is only the haters are fucking white people?
Like I said, they do right at this point it's literally like manufactured. They literally like, okay, so what we're gonna do to shield ourselves from the Little Mermaid remake is we'll just hire a black actress. They don't even think about it like, we want to make a black Little Mermaid movie, because if they did, they would do what I wanted, which is like set it in Jamaica, make it all black, do the fucking Rastafarian. Have we seen a Rastafarian any fucking Disney movie set? Cool Runnings. That's not even set in Jamaica. I mean, it is set in Jamaica actually, but like, not since Cool Runnings have we seen like Jamaican people represented. Like not even just black people, but like a specific type of black people. Like
people are very sick and tired of the fucking title trip. That I made a shitty movie. It's like we seen all the time with like, okay, Charlie's Angels, fucking Elizabeth Banks' stupid ass. Like, okay, it's because men hate women. Okay, what about the very first, the fucking 70s show? What about the Drew Barrymore film that did great at the box office? It's not the men hate women. It's your movie fucking sucks, lady. It's
Yeah, and it's like,
Christ.
why does it suck? It's like, man, I could go in it a blow by blow, but it's like I said, as a grown man who watched both of these movies back to back, the remake first, yes, the original one is fucking 10 times better, and it's fucking half as long.
Same
Like,
deal with
come
Aladdin.
on.
So we had about a month ago. She sat down. She's like, honey, I actually, she's like, you know what? My girlfriend, because said she's Hispanic and she's brown and she wanted to watch. She's watched Aladdin 1,000 fucking times,
Yeah.
and she's like, you know what? I want to watch the actual. Sit down. She skipped out on it. She's like, I want to watch the Aladdin remake. And Aladdin remake, casting wise, they're all fucking in, you know, whatever Arabic people, just like the fucking cartoon. And she's like, Chris, this remake is shit. And I'm like, okay, there you go.
Yeah, granted,
So-
they had like a brown-skinned Aladdin and Jasmine, but like, and they were both pretty people, but something was weird. I mean,
the songs were way the fuck off. It's like the songs were bad, the acting was fucking flat. It was a Guy Ritchie film, and no, it's like, and I didn't hate the Aladdin remake, but I'm like, guys, it's just like watch the cartoon, watch the live action. The live action is such a shitty adaptation.
That's the other thing. Disney, Lucasfilm, they've proven that it doesn't matter who's directing these movies. Rob Marshall, Guy Ritchie, who else? Ron Howard. You know, it doesn't matter. They will fucking beat these directors into submissions. They're just kind of like putting their name on it and letting Kathleen or whoever the fuck else direct the movie. The committee.
It's something I wish Todd was here, but I wanted to ask people with Indiana Jones coming out that, okay, guys, listen. Yes, Indiana Jones, I expect it to like Little Mermaid to be total fucking dog shit. Harrison Ford is 82 years old. At this point, he's probably, guys, you know what? I'm 82. This Lucasfilm just gave me $50 million fucking dollars. I don't care if the movie fucking sucks. I'm gonna die soon. And it's like this money's going to my grandkids and my great grandkids.
Yeah,
I can't blame Harrison Ford for like saying fuck it. I'm not. I won't be around much longer. This is gonna help out my children.
Yeah, the B-Sup stream today that Russ was on. I remember I tuned in for a second and they were like talking about how like Harrison Ford has this like arrogance about him. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't you? You're fucking Indiana Jones, and these motherfuckers at Lucasfilm and Disney are like begging you to come back. You're an 80-year-old man. You're an 80-year-old man. Harrison Ford has self-awareness. He knows that he is just a dumb, handsome guy who knows how to build shit and talk on a camera, and he's 80 fucking years old. He's aware of that. He knows that like when Hollywood is begging him to star in their action movie that they are fucking run out of ideas. And he's doing the smart thing, which is like, I don't really want to be in your next Indiana Jones movie. It's like, we'll give you 70 million. Maybe I'll think about it. And it's like, okay, we'll give you $100 million plus fucking percentages plus fucking, okay, all right, maybe I'll do it. And then he shows up on set drunk, phones in all his lines, and they can't say anything because they begged him to be there. They begged him to be there.
I can tell you right now, listen, guys, it's but my son's 16 years old. They say, Chris, listen, you have to sell out, but your kid, your grandkids will never work again. I'm selling out so fucking fast. Come on, man.
Will never work again. Will never have to work again. You know, when you say it like that, it's like your kids will never work again. You're like, God damn, that's a powerful motherfucker.
Not to mention, people tend to forget this. I read this online because remember, like Tom Cruise was doing this shit, and also this was, I think Robert Downey started. I'm not sure who started this, but Robert Downey. This is why Robert Downey got paid $60 million for Iron Man because of the back end residuals. Harrison Ford of Crystal Skull. You can shit on the film. It's a terrible fucking film. When that came out for 2008, he was the highest paid actor of the fucking year. Harrison Ford made $70 million off fucking Indiana Jones 4 because of the fucking box office residuals. It's a shit fucking film. The guy got paid. He was the highest paid actor of the year for the worst movie of the fucking year because of the fucking residuals. Say what you want, guys. Like, hey, it's if you Google it, just Google Harrison Ford's payday for Indiana Jones 4. See what the man fucking made. I can't blame the guy.
Dude, the dude's like drunkenly crashing planes on shit on his spare time, and he used to fuck, Ally McBeal. The dude is living his life. He's a 70-year-old man with an earring, and women still want to fuck him. Yeah. He's Harrison Ford. Like the idea, like, Harrison Ford has this arrogance about him. He's phoning in the roles. It's like, wouldn't you? Exactly. You're Harrison Ford. You don't need to be there. That's the thing. You don't need to be on the set. You don't need to be wearing that stupid leather jacket and that hat again. The fucking people at Lucasfilm, who apparently are like, the richest, most powerful fucking corporations in the world, they can't even, they have to beg this old man to be back on set, please. Just so we can kill you off. And replace you with our new British fop.
I mean, you can look up you share screen yourself, but right now it's Googled. Okay, Indiana Jones 4 box office. And remember, this was just the box office. Take away the DVD sales and digital sales. It did almost said love or hate Indiana Jones fucking 4, guys. It did $800 million.
Yeah, I
It's
saw it in the theaters. I
come on,
watched.
man.
But the other thing is, like, everyone, this was earlier, you know, Indiana Jones 4 was in 2008. This was 8 years before I started noticing like the real wokening. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't until like I started noticing the real like the SJW shit around 2015, 16 in the comic books. And around 2016, I started like, you know, following your boy Zach on the YouTubes. And then like by the time Last Jedi came out, like 2017, that was like life-changing, world-changing event right there. Like, BLJ before the Last Jedi. Like that's like zero. That's like zero on the time scale. Like when the Last Jedi came out, that's when it caused like the rift in the time continuum. I started finding like Mahler and Critical Drinker and EVS and all these fucking world-class bullshitters and Gary Nerdrotic. Like I wouldn't know any of these people.
Yeah. Now, if you look at right now closely, so okay, it's Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid is it's number 5. Little Mermaid is 2023. Look at X-Men 2006. Indiana Jones 2008. Pirates of the Caribbean 2007. Obviously, Top Gun Maverick is 2022. The biggest thing is you're looking at fucking Aladdin and all these fucking films. The Hangover Part 2 2011. Inflation right now 2023. Inflation is the biggest factor because movie tickets now cost a lot fucking more. But ultimately comes down to, yes, Little Mermaid had the 5th biggest box office opening at 117. Yeah, okay, I want to see what's going to come down to.
Well, this is also specifically Memorial Day weekend openings.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Little Mermaid has 117 for 8 opening, which isn't that fucking impressive considering it's way behind Pirates of the Caribbean 2007, guys. Come on.
But when you look at the totals here, like you could see like Maverick is like above and beyond all of them.
Dude, X-Men The Last Stand is considered the worst, well, besides Wolverine Origins, considered the fucking worst X-Men fucking film. It did than it did half of what the worst X-Men fucking film did. That came out in 2006.
Well, that's the other thing is like all
17 years later, dude.
All of these openings Memorial Day weekend. That means you have a 3-day weekend. Okay. So you have an extra day and they're all around the 100 million mark. Like, Top Gun is the only one that gets over 150, no one else even is like 10 million or closer to 150. And like, could you imagine like one of these days a movie's going to open Memorial Day weekend and it's going to make $200 million. Is that going to be because inflation or is it going to be because it's like a legitimately hyped up movie? I don't know. It's probably going to be inflation.
And again,
maybe it's both.
I don't want to see. They're trying to spin this bullshit. Little Mermaid opening weekend. Okay, guys.
That was another thing. Lost World. I remember Jurassic Park, Lost World coming out Memorial Day weekend. That's the other thing is they always release like.
Not to mention, but let's say the promise, dude, is 19. Look at the average fucking ticket price, 1997.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Versus fucking nowadays. Come on.
Hell yeah.
It's like,
no, of course.
Also, remember too, Little Mermaid, and I was even seeing it. I didn't see it for my kid. Little Mermaid, they were opening things. They had things like RPX, IMAX fucking 3D. I could tell you one thing on Lost World. There was no RPXs or fucking IMAXs fucking playing for Lost World, and those ticket prices do go up.
They're like $30-$20 for a movie or whatever. Jesus Christ.
Come on. So no, Little Mermaid, I guarantee you, long term, after 3 weeks or a month from now, Little Mermaid is gonna fucking bomb at the box office. They're trying to boost up for clout. Like, it did great opening weekend. Okay, I want to see the 2, 3, and 4 week fucking domestic charts. Come on. Fuck out of here with this shit. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I need a refund on my ticket. No. We getting a refund because
It's fucked up because it's like 30. It's like fucking what? Like 20 minutes into the movie, 30 minutes into the movie when that happens.
Yeah.
It's like right before the Under the Sea song. Like, goddamn, dude. Anyway, that's like the target audience, I guess. I don't. It's fucked up though.
Yeah. Can't say that though.
It's where you're at. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's like if this is, I imagine wherever the hell that was, some inner city metropolitan area where fucking millions of people live and everyone's pissed off all the time. You can't blame these people. Like everyone's there with their kids trying to have a good day, and someone steps on your shoe or spills popcorn on you and you just blow up because you have a temper tantrum, and it just escalates from there. I mean, these things happen a lot more common than you think. But fuck.
Yeah. No, I said overall, people are so burnt out of the whole tried and fucking trope of like, oh yeah, if you hate this fucking film, it's because of skin color. It's like, no, nothing to do with skin color, assholes. It's a terrible fucking movie.
I really think like a big reason why there's a fight breaking out is because everyone deep down knows that this movie's not even good. You know what I mean? Everyone's already pissed off in the theater because they spent fucking $50 to $100 taking their family to go see the movie, and they know deep down this movie's not good.
Yeah, and not to mention, like right there, you're showing her hair for the fucking Tales from Dorkside. Anybody can fucking Google like Halle Berry doing her CG and mocap stuff. She's wearing a fucking cap the entire time. That is not her hair.
Right? Yeah, all of her hair. I mean, she's obviously wearing like either extensions or obviously all of her
she's
above water scenes.
But she's actually underwater. She's wearing a fucking cap though. That hair is all digital.
Yeah, I mean, her bust is digital. Man. Her bust is all digital underwater. But then when she gets out of the water, she has like a wig on and corset. The corset is just like, I can tell like the corset's just like holding those things in for dear life. But yeah, as far as like the Little Mermaid, like I said, I'm a grown man. I watched both of these movies. And like, goddamn, dude, the second one and the original one is just like so much better. And the shark scene, like, I think like
was stupid. Oh my god!
In both scenes, it's the same scene. That's one of the few scenes that was like note for note, like the same. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm confused. The shark doesn't talk. I feel like the shark would have been a lot scarier in both versions if he was like Bruce in Finding Nemo, where he's like, "Oh, I can smell ya." Here's the thing: if I was like a killer shark and I could talk to fish, like all fish could talk to each other, and you were a shark, I guess it would be it wouldn't be common for like you try to like talk the fish into like offering itself to you, right? Like, hey, everyone's gonna die. Everyone's got their own expiration date. Like, you've eaten your own fishies. They had to die. Maybe it's your turn, mate. I mean, what else you got to live for? Maybe today's the day.
In the end, the scary part is because of the thing is, I keep telling people that it's like you look at Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast wasn't terrible because it was so much of a fucking clone. They copied every single scene from the cartoon. Did $1 billion. Lion King, the CGI version, because it's not live.
But they changed a little bit in Beauty and the Beast. They added, but like that's the thing. Is like the changes are getting more and more drastic.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Like I said, they just keep gaslighting everyone. Like the thing is, the parents are obligated to take their kids to this fucking movie, you know? Mm-hmm. So when you brag, The Little Mermaid made a lot of money. It's like, man, of course it did. Bragging, like, remember when Top Gun made a shitload of money opening weekend? Yeah, it's Memorial Day. Who cares? It's a war movie. Everyone, obviously. But then, like, 3 months later, it's still killing it at the box office.
That's also the fucking bragging rights. We can say this going forward. Hey, listen, guys. Hey, Little Mermaid did number 1 in the box office. Yeah, also, Little Mermaid, a beloved children's fucking classic, did fucking still 1/3 of what Top Gun Maverick did. A fucking sequel to a 35-year-old fucking film. Yeah. Still did less money than Top Gun Maverick with a fucking actor who was 60 years old. So, yeah, people are tired of the fucking woke bullshit.
Well, you talk about how like earlier you're not the target audience for these kids movies, but it's like, yeah, you should be though, because the movies like they gotta think of it like the parent is like the wall that the movie first must penetrate. Like if I was a fucking parent, I'd have to watch every stupid fucking show my kids want to watch, and I'd probably watch it maybe before they saw it. Shit.
I agree.
But like at the same time, like I don't want to watch this crap. And I'm sure most of it would be like, yeah, okay, the kid would watch it. I didn't like it. It was fucking stupid. Kids movie, but whatever. She'll learn colors. But like if I ever watch something and I'd be like, holy shit, this is legit good. Like, that's always a treat.
Joking. I mean, I did it for my kid, but if I had a daughter that was 5, 6 years old, I would say, honey, okay, listen, I would show my kid the cartoon. Then I would say, okay, listen, for daddy's YouTube channel, this is how you don't make a actual fucking remake. Because it's like, there's nobody should be taking, the only people that are praising this fucking film are people that care more about diversity check boxes and actual quality, because there is no quality, there's no fucking soul. This is a shit, like, no bullshit, dude. When December comes, I do my fucking top 10 worst films of 2023. This is in the fucking top 2. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure between, January is a ways away, man, but so far this is for me in 2023. This is June. This is the worst film I've seen all fucking year.
Nice. Me too. And I take pride in watching bad movies,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, it's not that it's bad. It's just that it, like you said, it's soulless. And the reason why it's soulless, we could like, when we say a piece of art is soulless, like, that's one of those like intrinsic things that, like, it's hard to put into words, but everyone knows what we're talking about, like the artwork was fucking, it was conspired into being.
Dude,
and it was
100%. I mean, you seen the cartoon? Tell my girlfriend that, like, the scene when Ariel first fucking saves Eric and she comes down and King Triton there is destroying all her stuff and she's heartbroken, and the look of pain, the look he has in his fucking face in the cartoon of pain, of like, I don't want to do this, but he feels like I'm doing this to fucking save my daughter's life, and he has like this pain of like sorrow and regret, like he didn't want to do this, but he did out of anger. This scene in the live action one, Javier Bardem said about his emotion is the last fucking shit I took. Like there is zero acting charisma in the cartoon. You can see he's just like, I have to do this, but I don't want to. This is hurting me to save my daughter. Like he's actually really he's so regretful for doing it, And there's just no emotion, no soul, nothing.
He was still channeling what's his name from No Country for Old Men, where he's like a psychopath, like emotionless, like a robot.
It's all of his lines, his facial expressions. I'm like, there is no, it's like, a cartoon from 30 fucking years ago. I see more emotion than a fucking actor in 2023.
I'm actually replaying No Country for Old Men in my head right now. And it's like, dude, actually, no, he has a lot of range in that movie because he smiles a lot. He does a lot of but the smiles are like hollow, like there's a lot of parts where he smiles at people and you could tell like they mean nothing,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the point is, it's but guys like him, he's a actual good fucking actor, just given a very shitty script. But no, it's like I said with the fucking Lion King live action one, right? You guys hired Beyonce. Beyonce has sold 10 billion fucking tickets, and everybody's like, man, why does Beyonce's songs sound terrible for? So that shows you the quality of like. Now with the live action remakes, where it's like you guys had fucking Beyonce in the fucking live action Lion King, and she sounds like shit. Like you had James Earl Jones still come back as fucking Mufasa. Everyone's like, wow, he sounds old and tired. Like he just didn't give a fuck anymore. It's like these guys just don't give a fuck, because why should we for? Because Little Mermaid, it's like, hey guys, it was #1 on Memorial Day weekend, even though it was a shitty fucking movie, because people gotta stop fucking paying Disney for these shitty live action remakes. Like, fuck, man.
I want to, fuck this. I don't care. I'm going to pull it up anyway, even though it's whatever. But just like, I just want to look how ridiculous this guy looks, like floating in the water like this. You know what I mean? Like,
even like his trident looks like a fucking cheap one. It's dollar store fucking like $2 prop, man. Like,
and he makes the same face
the whole
fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, so hilarious.
God, man. That's why I said I'm pissed off. Like I said, I have no problem admitting at some point before it comes out, I'm gonna review. I don't know why, that little blue bastard. Lilo and Stitch for me is my favorite. It came out when I was 20 years old. It's my favorite Disney movie. Something about Stitch. He's a blue dog. He's funny as hell. He's vulgar and nasty and eating his own boogers and shit. Like, I love Lilo and Stitch. And
here's the thing, man. I really predict back to like this whole idea of like me like censoring my jokes and shit. It's like, dude, never. Like the whole point of this fucking thing is like, I want to say whatever the fuck I want. And as long as it's funny and doesn't come from a place of hatred. I mean, that's the thing, is like when I tell you guys this Little Mermaid movie was bad, it's coming from a place of love, because like at the same breath, I could be like, hey, I watched the original. And when she comes out of the water at the end, I almost cried. It was cute. It was sweet. I loved it. And it won me over at the end, you know?
Like you're saying, as I'm watching, I told my son and said, he's like, Dad, it's terrible. I was texting my girlfriend, like, honey, that scene in the fucking cartoon was so beautiful because he's saying goodbye to his daughter. And like, you know, and like I said, the look in her fucking face and she gets her legs, she walks to Eric and stuff too. That's all just destroyed.
But
You're
the
like,
lines,
man.
that is fucked up. But even him, like he says, Triton, he says the same lines in the live action one, but it's like Javier Bardem, like talking in his weird accent, and he's just kind of whispering and mumbling, like I was just, what is he? I'm trying to like if I could do my Javier Bardem impression, like how he says the final line, it'd be like, my only regret is how much I'm sure. It's just like he like mumbles it under his breath in his thick fucking Spanish accent.
And funny part, he does it like he's looking at the screen. He does it like this, talking like there's no emotion in his fucking facial expression, his eyes. He just repeats the lines like he's reading off a teleprompter right now. And
Ariel, I am very upset with you, Ariel. You don't understand.
Like,
I'm going to miss my daughter very much. Like every scene, he's just like
exactly.
He filmed all of his scenes in a soundstage in 1 week, in one day, just like
he had one facial expression the entire fucking movie.
Like you never see his eyes, like you never see you don't see any of that shit, dude, ever.
Yeah, it's like I'm looking right now. It's like he has a fucking teleprompter with the lines right here. He's just reading off a card right now, like this and stuff. And
he just has this like dead stare, like vacant look in his eyes, like he's just like, what am I doing here?
It's like the whole thing is like, what is the target audience? Well, my son, yes, he's older than 8-year-old girl, but he's still a teenager in this modern era. My kid's 16. Like, Dad, this movie is fucking terrible.
Well,
and
dude,
I'm like,
that's kind of what I mean when I say it's soulless. Like we can tell when there's no passion behind a project. Like I can't tell you how many times I watch a shitty, awful fucking movie, but you can tell whoever made it, even though they fucked it up, they had passion.
We've said this before, like fuck. If you look at Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 2 was by all accounts a low budget film, but Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, they actually gave a shit. That's why this fucking film is 40 years later. You can still watch Evil Dead 2 40 fucking years later, guys. It's like it's
so like inventive with what they had to work with. You know what I mean? This is why like these dumb movies, like yeah, they're just like checking off any fucking budget box list they have. Like, this movie needs this. This movie is going to cost this much for this. They need a producer like fucking Mr. Stilly said. Like, we need a Howard Hughes type motherfucker. I don't know what he's trying to say, but we need somebody in charge who's not afraid to be like, okay, you're going to make a Little Mermaid remake. I'm giving you $80 million.
It's the fuck point that back then it's like they would say, here's 50 million fucking bucks. Do as much coke as you want, but just have a good fucking time. Now it's just like, we can't have any artistic value. It's about check this box, this box. Like
the accountants are all crooked now, so they're just like sign off to any check they need to, whatever, as long as it's like ESG funded, whatever. But like back in the days, it's like, hey, look, here's $50 million. You can make a movie. You can either spend $50 million and make a really high budget movie, or you can spend $25 million on the movie and the other 25 on paying your friends and doing cocaine and all that stuff. It's up to you.
But you know what? I would say this, and I'm sure the guys like Wes would say, hey guys, you know what? Then like Tyler was saying, I saw Fast and the Furious 10 twice, one with my kid, one with my girlfriend. I recognize, guys, it's not fucking Shakespeare. It's not fucking The Covenant. I know how fucking dumb it is. But even the drinker said, guys, because people were saying, well, Chris, how could the drinker give Fast and the Furious 10 a pass, but not certain other films a pass? Because even the drinker recognizes the fact that these guys made this film with just a shitload of fucking coke, no fucks given. It's got chicks with ass shots. It's got guns, explosions. It's got fucking big bald guys with muscles and steroids.
I'll give you another reason,
film, man. But
I'll give you another reason why the Fast movies probably, I haven't seen any of them recently, but I can tell you why I think they have this thing that we can't quite put our finger on. That passion is there because Vin Diesel, he's passionate about these movies because he's desperately clinging on to this franchise because he needs these movies. So because of that, there is a passion there. Even though the movies just still seems desperate. I mean,
it's like you and me could do a whole some point we should fucking binge the Fast. It's like, my thing is, guys, if you watch like Face Off, right, Con Air, it's you see fucking Face Off or fucking going to 60 Seconds. Nick Cage had me doing a ton of fucking coke for these fucking films, but he's having a great time. Jason Momoa, I don't know how much acid he was doing, 10. Jason Momoa was having the goddamn time of his fucking life, and it was great because it's like Fast and Furious 10. You can say it's a fucking shitty movie. Yeah, you know what then? But so wasn't Aliens. So wasn't fucking Con Air. So wasn't fucking Face Off. It's like, so wasn't Starship Troopers. They were all shitty 80s action fucking 90 films. Fast 10 is just a more modern version of shitty 80s action films.
Dude, I agree. And it's like, I think that's what we're unlocking. I think that's the information I'm unlocking right now. This is why I like doing these streams, because talking it over, it's like, holy shit. Like, yeah, I think that is like the common denominator.
Not to mention, cheap plug, you, me, and Wes want to watch Commando, right? Dude, it's like from
today.
A fucking
Tonight.
from a fucking, when we watch Commando, there is 10,000 things wrong with that fucking movie. It's in my top 5 favorite movies of all time because it's so fucking stupid and insane and glorious and shit. It's like anyone says, "Go, Chris, well, Fast 10's a shitty movie." You can't say Fast 10's a shitty movie, but say Commando's a good movie. Bullshit. There is just as much wrong as Commando as Fast 10. It's a fucking stupid action film. It has got fucking chicks, big titties, big asses, explosions, cars, overacting. Fast 10 is just a modern version of fucking Commando. So my guys, you can't hate on Commando. You can't hate Fast 10 but love Commando. You can't. And you said this before, dude. It's like how many guys like fucking like a little platoon or Mahler would say, okay, guys, well, we'll give like Armageddon a fucking free pass, but shit on John Wick 4. Come on, man.
I really always,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's like Armageddon. It's one of those dumb movies, but it got a Criterion edition because it's like it does that summer blockbuster thing so well.
By all accounts, Armageddon is a fucking awful film. Seriously, but if you want it objectively, it's a shitty fucking film. But it did fucking $400 million at the box office. Like, come on, man.
And it's like I was saying earlier. It's like my whole debate with like. You like John Wick 4, but you hate Avatar 2. It's the same thing. Like, yeah,
dude,
you hate Fast X, but you like Commando.
I have no problem
it doesn't
saying,
make sense.
Guys, I've watched John Wick fucking 4 3 times this year. It is fucking. It's just as fucking awful as Con Air. Simple as fucking that.
You like dumb action movies. You either like them or hate them.
Yes,
and it's like dumb action movies done right. I mean, doesn't matter how dumb the movie is or how smart it is. It's
Yeah, every generation, guys, from 80s, 90s, 2000, like the Transporter. If you watch fucking 3 Transporters films, holy the shit Jason Statham does in fucking movies, man. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, movies have genres, and just like music, it's like you gotta just like if you're in the genre and you know what the genre is, then you know what to expect, and you should know whether you should judge it based on like the genre.
And this is what people becoming so like now they're becoming so analytical. Where even Top Gun Maverick did $1.5 billion at the box office. Ask any guy from West to like Neil deGrasse Tyson. If you want to break down Top Gun Maverick and realism, that movie makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
There was about 5,000 things wrong with Top Gun Maverick, but it did 1.5 billion at the box office.
Star Warsy plot, we gotta like shoot the Death Star and narrow canyons, all that shit.
The opening fucking scene. They said the opening fucking scene. He travels fucking Mach 10.2. That would kill a human being. no human could survive that shit.
That's one of my favorite. This is kind of a little bit of a tangent, but one of my favorite fan fictions is like Star Fox. They always wear these metal boots, and one of my favorite fan fictions is like those aren't boots. They literally like electively have their legs amputated below the knee so they can like withstand higher G forces. And it's like, dude, that's like something that's so metal that if you put that in like a Top Gun style movie, like all of our elite pilots chose to get our legs cut off so we can go to 10.2 Mach 10. You'd be like, whoa. That is awesome. That's hardcore. You've already served your country so well, just so we can go fast. I cut my legs off. It's like, God damn, dude. That is some daredevil shit right there.
I went to Dragons. I want to fucking shout and prepare for a Commando. But overall bottom line is like Little Mermaid. I didn't pay for it. I paid for my kids' ticket, but it is by far so far for 2023. This is going on. We're in May now. We're technically May.
We're in May June, 29th. Motherfucker. We're halfway point over the year.
I can say fucking January, February, March, April, May, going into June. It's for me, Little Mermaid, it's the worst theater experience I've had all fucking year.
Yeah. I mean, bottom line for me, I think what I've unlocked, like kind of like wrapping my head around this movie and talking about other projects, I'm realizing like the question is like, is the passion there? And I think the meaning is like, nobody needed this movie to get made. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing is like Vin Diesel needs the next Fast movie to get made, so there's a passion there.
Yes.
And then like Con Air, Armageddon, like they wanted that movie to be made. They needed it to happen. Like Bruce Willis, he wanted like I don't know, like can you tell that someone needed it to happen? If not, I think that might be like the driving force here.
Before we sign off, it says it's my review. Guys, listen, I'm not stupid, right? So far for me for 2023, so far, I think The Covenant is the best film I've seen all year. I'm not gonna say fucking Fast 10 is as good as The Covenant, but the bottom line is Covenant did $6 million. Fast 10 does $600 million. You need films like Fast 10 because the bottom line is you are fucking paying for employees. You're paying for concessions. People got to fucking work. Films like the quote unquote better fucking films, they're not paying for these theaters to stay open. You need stupid shit like, fucking Kong versus Godzilla #2, Fast 10, fucking like next month, Transformers, Transformers Rise of the fucking Beast. We need stupid fucking action films because most people are not going to drop 20 fucking bucks to watch the quote unquote, fuck the Schindler's List fucking films. It's how it goes. The whole fucking the movie industry, you need stupid fucking action films to keep it going.
Also, you said like signing off is like, nah, I still have some other stuff I want to talk about, like Memorial Day and Flipside JOMO, but you can leave whatever you want. But as far as like still continuing Little Mermaid, like the thing about that is like I remember thinking like earlier I was talking about with my mother. It's like, I stopped myself in the middle of the thought because I was like, well, it's like, why don't they just re-release the original? Oh, wait, because everyone's got streaming and fucking giant theaters in their house.
Yeah.
Because usually that's what you would think. You'd be like, why don't you just re-release the original? But now I'm like, no, because what's going to drive my ass in the theater for this? Especially if we're trying to go post-COVID, post-streaming platform world. How are you going to get my ass into the theater? And it's like, yeah, okay, you got to get me and all my kids to come see some stupid kids movie just because it's the only kids movie, the big Disney movie that's coming out around this time. So we all got to go see it. It's obligated. Like, is there any competition for this movie in terms of like other children's movies out there in theaters right now? No. It's a monopoly. Disney arranged it that way, and they still have to like flounder is the word I want to use. I don't want to.
I think the only real competition I think is I'm pretty sure I'm gonna check my review app. I think next week is Transformers. So
something for the little boys, I guess. Yeah. I see.
No, I'm sorry. No, hold on. Next week is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, that's already coming out.
Yep, it comes out right now. This is Monday. It comes out fucking 3 days. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and of course the next week is Transformers. Then the week after is The Flash. So it's like the summer film and stuff, Then of course then the week after is Indiana Jones. So, but yeah, I guarantee you, Spider-Man. Said love or hate the Spider-Verse. The new Spider-Verse film is gonna fucking destroy the fucking Little Mermaid.
The first Spider-Verse movie rocks. And again, I feel like it's going to be one of those bait and switch ones where it's like first one rules. We all come to the second one. And it's like,
I don't know yet. It's like not having Nick Cage in the second one is Spider-Man Noir is kind of pissing me off. But then again, I still have to this day in my basement, I have the first issue of Spider-Man 2099. And the fact that they're making this whole film about Spider-Man.
Yeah. I'm more excited about that. Like, he was such like a, I mean, I heard he was going to make his own movie, Spider-Man Noir, but that got canceled because of the writer's strike. There's so many things that are getting like canned because of the writing strike, and I'm honestly like, good. Yeah. I've said it before, like we need to go like back to like COVID times where like everything's like halted. And I know it sucks for my buddy Max because like he's been affected by the strike. His department, everyone's going on strike now, and it's like, God damn it, we're not making our movies anymore. We're not getting paid, but it's like, but it's like, I don't know, man. We all just need to stop making movies for a second and just like rethink the formula. Cause like whatever we're doing right now with the streaming platforms and the, these overinflated budgets for these like stupid cash grab movies, it's not working. It's not working.
Great. Yeah.
And the posturing to one-sided politics.
Yeah.
It's not working. That's also not working. And I'm not saying like, oh, we need to make hardcore MAGA movies.
No, but it's a point that it's like fucking, but it's like the industry, it's so fucking sided to one side where it's like, we're seeing it's like, Disney fucking Plus lost like whatever $4 billion fucking dollars. They lost like 8,000 employees and stuff because you're too busy. It's because it comes down to whether you're left or fucking right. As long as you make a quality fucking film, that's all people care about. If you make it too right, people hate it. Make it too left, people hate it. So make it neutral.
I'm at the point now, man. Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's like, dude. It's like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, you hear about the tales about how awful the right wingers are. And then you go meet them, and you're like, you actually go around the country and talk to people, and you realize like the right wingers are fucking fine. They're chill. They own they own land. They got fucking all their kids in universities. They got families.
Even on my fucking channel, I'm not political by any means. All I said is that whether it's left or fucking right, I would just say that it seems like fucking like one side via the fucking left, they are very fucking quick to like, hey, listen, I don't like your fucking film or your Facebook post. I want to get you fired from your job. I've never seen somebody who was quote unquote right wing say like, okay, listen, dude, I don't agree with you, and I'm gonna get you fired from your fucking job. I've seen people on the fucking right saying, hey, listen, I disagree with you, but you know what? Then have your own opinion and do whatever you fucking want to do. But people on the left love getting fucking channels taken down on YouTube. People's Facebook posts or their tweets. The fact that people on the quote unquote left have lost jobs over a fucking tweet. Like, I don't see people on the fucking right advocating for that shit.
No, exactly. Sorry. And it's like, I got friends who are like old cowboys with, like I said, they own land, they got kids in university, they got property, they're just like God-fearing Christian men, they got jobs, pay taxes. And then I got my left-leaning friends who are all Antifa, BLM, ACAB. And what do? They got fucking live in an apartment with like 6 other people, fucking filled with cats, surrounded by filth. Like, they're always like disgusting. They got bad fucking teeth, bad fucking hygiene. Yep. And it's like, you notice this shit and you don't want to, it's rude to point it out. It's like, dude, they all got mental illness, man. They all got fucking problems. And it's like, they're still my friends. I still love them, but it's like, Jesus Christ, man, you guys have lost your way. And that's kind of what I want to talk about with this Flipside JOMO. Yeah. That's like another thing. Like, every Memorial Day, I'm supposed to be at this Flipside rave. I've been doing it for fucking a decade plus. And since the pandemic, like, I haven't been going because the pandemic canceled it for 2 years. And then they brought it back, and it was like vaccines only, vaccine passports only. It's like, like just like my favorite other hobbies, the movies and the comic books, the Flipside thing, the burns, it's been infiltrated and taken over by fucking commies.
I say one thing, like, guys, right or fucking left, I never seen nobody on a fucking right. This is Memorial Day. We're supposed to be fucking honoring and supporting the troops and shit. I only see people that are quote unquote on the fucking left saying the fact that anybody in our modern society said fuck the troops and fuck the military. I never see anybody on the quote unquote right saying fuck the troops.
No, exactly. And it's like,
I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is like, when the fuck, the left wingers now, they're the ones that are like pro-war, pro-war with Russia, it's fucking stupid.
That's funny. But all these fucking left wingers that are fucking they're quote unquote pro fucking war. So are you guys going to sign up? Oh, well, no. I mean, I'm not going to sign up, and my kids aren't going to sign up. But Enzo, your kids can sign up for the fucking war. But my kids can't go to fucking war. Okay, yeah.
So let me just go for a little bit about this Flipside rave thing. It's just so funny because it used to just be like Titty City, Memorial Day weekend. We'd be partying with like drugs and alcohol and fucking doing whippets and DMT and LSD and all this shit. Fucking, it's 100 degrees or it's like a raining fucking flood. It's like either a tornado or a fucking 115-degree heat wave. Either way, we're like out partying. Then at the end, after 4 days, we fucking burn a big effigy, fucking dance around naked. Everyone's going crazy. And then, dude, just trolls everywhere. There used to be this thing called French Camp, and they would set up like this big like scaffolding, and they'd sit on it and just yell at you and roast you with a megaphone as you walk by. And this is 10, 15 years ago, and like slowly it just started getting infiltrated by the types, the people, those the Marxists, no body shaming, everything's all about consent, everything's all about rape culture, and just like slowly it just became the most toxic fucking place, dude. And it's just like, especially during the pandemic, like everyone blew up on each other for like, I got pictures of this person at a fucking at a party, like that kind of shit, like busybodying, moral policing, morality policing, that kind of crap. And like now I look at the event page, for the event, during the event, like you have to understand, like previously during the event, everyone would be radio silent. There's hardly any reception out there. I guess there is reception out there now, but like people would just, talk about all the fun they're having. And now it's like, first post, like someone talking about how they've been, can we talk about this trans shit at the burn? Because I really have been misgendered more in the past 24 hours than I have in the previous month. And I get it. most of you met a femboy who has drifted more and, more trans femme.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of cis men in dresses out here. I get it, but I'm starting to feel honestly annoyed with the whole thing. And this is like at the fucking event, talking about how like everyone. And then I don't want to show you a picture of the person.
Yeah.
Oh, Farrell, where the fuck you been, Farrell? Everybody is nuts anymore on all sides, just more than others. Yeah, honestly, I mean,
Farrell's, like I said before, guys. Like, Farrell, I agree with you, Farrell, because I've heard people on the fucking right that they've said some shit where I'm like, guys, you're fucking insane. People on the fucking left, you're fucking insane. I try being as neutral as possible because both sides have said some shit where I'm like, what? So both sides are fucked up. Like,
so anyway, back to this event. Like, you got a guy like this. This is basically, I'm not gonna show you a picture, but it's like it's an old man with long hair.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm being misgendered out at this event. And it's like, sorry. I mean, what do you want? Everyone's on drugs and people aren't asking you your pronouns, I guess. I don't know, dude. I never had to get pronoun lectured out there. I mean, I avoided all that. But here's the next post. It's like some guy being Me Too'd at the event for, harassment over consenting. And he's just going on a tirade at the event. By the way, Wes is talking like 9 p.m. So that's going to be like 10 p.m. your time. Art, if that's okay.
No, it's going to be time to take a shower.
Yeah, of course. We'll have a good 2-3 hour break at least.
I'm going to try to get sober. No, because Commando, I'm going to get so fucking drunk.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. We're going to have fun no matter what. But as far as like what else is happening at this Flipside event, we've got this guy getting called out Me Too'd, and he's telling everyone who Me Too'd him a racist because he is apparently a black man. And here's the thing about this event. This event, I gotta say, not joking, there are a lot of African American dudes just because we're in Texas, and also it's just like black people camping. It's just one of those things where they're not a huge percentage, but they're out there. But at the same time, like the few black dudes that are out there, this one black dude out there is like, where's a black presenting man in the comments? I need a black presenting man here to side with me and tell me that I'm wrong. And it's like, you got all these black people chiming in the comments like, dude, you're acting like a weirdo. And the fact that you're just like going on a tirade at the event, like I'm just picturing a guy on the phone just like, I didn't Me Too anybody. And anyone who says that is a racist. It's like, dude, I don't know who to believe and I don't care. I'm just here eating my popcorn. Here's another thing. Somebody over here, how do I get a hold of the Sound Rangers? I think the camp next to us is beyond the 85 decibel sound limit. It is literally rattling our trailer. And it's like, dude, we're at a rave. You understand? All the music is drum and bass. It's terrible music. We're surrounded by drugs. And it's like, I understand these people at the festival, at this rave, Flipside, the burn. They always want to say, hey, it's not a festival. Hey, it's not a rave. It's like, yeah, but it kind of is. Okay, as a guy who's been going for fucking 15 years, it kind of is. All right, let's not fucking kid ourselves. And then here's the best part. He's got a fucking picture of his fucking sound app that's like capturing the 85 decibels.
Jesus Christ.
Look. So like basically my point is like all the cool people that didn't trust the government, didn't trust authority, they didn't get vaccinated, they didn't like what everyone was doing during the pandemic, watching everyone flip and turn on each other. They didn't like it, so they're not going anymore. And now I'm just hearing about how like all the weird blue-haired idiots, all the genderqueered, mentally ill, non-binary, they-thems, they're all the only ones that are still going. And then like there's a few party police, there's still a few party animals out there that are still clinging on to the event. But it's like it won't be long before they fucking find out that you have wrong opinions about one thing. And they start, dude, they're like calling out this guy who runs a shower camp. They literally just drive around with a big truck with a big water cube, and they offer free showers to anybody. Like, just turn on fucking water pump and get showers.
So many people it's like left or right. Like, guys, there is. I've said it's impossible for Enzo for like if you want somebody online to 100% agree with everything you have to say, you better clone yourself. I'm sure you and me could talk about 100 topics. You and me may agree on 90 topics, and it's like, and I'm the kind of person where it's like,
I'm going to disavow blue collar because me and you finally disagreed on one thing.
It's like, it's like fucking. There could be 90 topics you may agree on, and 10 topics we don't agree on. But I would focus on, for me, I would focus on the 90 things we do agree on. So you know what? Then if me and Enzo don't agree on every little fucking, I have fucking friends. I'm 41 years old. I have friends I've known since I was 8 years old that we don't agree on a ton of shit, but they are still my fucking friends. friends of 30 goddamn years.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's
holy
really
shit,
our
man.
hatreds that bind us, you know, like we could have common interests, but like our fucking common like enemies, that's
Yeah.
like usually what those are the binds that stand the test of time, you know.
I mean, it's just
But
like, holy shit.
But as far as like, yeah, these other like woke idiots, like I said, we got a guy over here getting called out on. I can't believe the zebra camp people are here offering free showers to everybody, despite his problematic behavior. And you look at it, and you're reading every account of everybody saying that he overstepped his boundaries.
Yeah,
that's what they say, and it's like, oh, he like slapped my ass one time and told me to get out of the way so he can operate on his like shower clog.
I just take one example. Is like my mother. My mother, she's known two of my sister's friends since my sister had these two friends since middle school, and my sister's two friends since middle school. They recently got fucking married. They're two females. Okay, my mother doesn't believe in gay marriage, but my mother, even though she doesn't believe in gay marriage, she still loves my sister's two fucking friends, and she's been friends with these girls for 30 goddamn years. They're two lesbians who got married. My mother doesn't agree with it, but my mother still, as people, she loves her fucking friends, even though my mother doesn't support lesbian fucking marriage, and they're all cool with that. She's like, you guys want to get fucking married, you can get married, but I don't support it, but I still love you as human beings. And there you go.
Well, let's back to all my burner friends, you know, who I've loved and known for years and years and years, and it's like I look at them and I compare them to, like I said, like all my right-wing friends I got out here where I'm at in small town Texas, and how I noticed they all got their shit together. They're all like proper citizens. Whereas like I look at my burner friends and it's like, yeah, they're all struggling with neuroses, mental illness, living in fucking squalor with like a ton of roommates. And it's just like, dude, you notice the patterns here. And it's like all these people, like I was talking to a friend of mine from the scene, this burner scene that I haven't seen in years, talking about how I haven't been to, you know, I'm not planning on going to the event anymore because of the whole, how they acted during the pandemic. And the lady's like, you know, yeah, whatever. I could tell she's kind of like not sympathizing with me, but I'm like looking at her teeth and they're just like caked in plaque. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, what the hell's going on with that?
I got mine whitened, so I'm good. Yeah.
No, I mean, I understand like a little bit of fucking teeth problems. Fine. This was bad. Like it was to the point where it looked like there were like chunks of white rocks all over her teeth. God. Like gross, like calcium deposits all over. Like you couldn't even see her gums. It was like, what is going on?
I brush 3 times a day, so
and it was one of those things where like I had to like, I'm gonna stop talking to you and go over there, kind of thing. Like, thank you, it's good seeing you. Bye. I was shocked.
Then the whole breath smell. So then it affects her breath.
I wasn't close enough. I wasn't close enough. I was just like, it was one of those things. As soon as I noticed, I was like repulsed, and it wasn't like no offense. But Jesus Christ, lady, go pay someone to scrape that shit off your face. Oh, yeah. And it was one of those things where it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, I got right-wing friends who probably lose their teeth due to fucking tobacco chew and stuff like that. And I'm sure that's like the same thing, but they're elderly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you start losing your teeth around your 60s, maybe your late 50s. It happens. But like losing your teeth around your fucking 20s and 30s, it's drug use.
That's why I say I'm trying to keep mine as long as possible. No, I mean, I have fucking friends that are like 25, and they're missing half their fucking teeth. I'm like, I'm 41. I have, funny part, my wisdom teeth are still there. The doctor said, listen, until your wisdom teeth become a fucking problem, we're going to keep them in there. I still have my fucking wisdom teeth. And I'm like, I want to keep these as long as possible. Like,
I also really think it is like a dentist conspiracy where you go into the, Kyle, that's messed up. It is funny where like, I really think it is like a dentist conspiracy where you go sit in the random dentist office and they're like, oh, you got an infection. We're gonna have to replace your tooth with a fucking implant just because that's more expensive. It's like, surely there's some kind of like antibiotic or a cleaning. Like why is it the tooth needs to be removed all the time and replaced with either a fucking?
Sometimes it's so damaged they can't help it. So
sure, but it's like in that case, just yank the tooth and I'll just have a missing tooth, I guess. But fuck.
That's what I said. Do politics. That's why overall my channel and Drinker's channel, because even people Drinker, because Drinker says the message. Oh my God, he's so fucking right wing. He's like, the guy's fucking he's from fucking Scotland. He's not even American. He's not right wing. He's just like he's calling out the political bullshit, guys. I was like, I don't pick political sides because I've seen Ben Shapiro videos. I listen to Steven Crowder. I hear Ben Shapiro say 10 things. I think Ben Shapiro makes a lot of good fucking points, but for every 5 things I agree with Ben, there's 5 things I disagree with Ben. So I'm like, I'm not right or fucking left. I try being as balanced as possible. But like nowadays, dude, it's like, holy shit. It's like you have to pick one side. And I'm like, no, I don't.
Dude.
Says who?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, chances are he'd be more Democrat here. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, it's not like that's the thing. It's like I can tell Farrell talking. It's just like, yeah, I mean, you go through the Great Awakening, you get the red pill. They call it the red pill because once you realize that the right and left thing is all bullshit, and all that Pizzagate shit actually has some fucking merit, and all this like, you know, all this stuff is like. All the wacky conspiracy theory shit, you know, I mean, it just keeps getting proven true over and over again. Come on, dude. It's like I'm over here walking around with my DNA intact, telling my friend that I don't plan to go to Flipside. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, I looked at him in the face and I was like, because of how they acted during the pandemic. No, that's not what I said. I looked at him in the eyes and I was like, because I'm not vaccinated. And he's just like, right. I understand what you're saying.
For left. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
I mean,
you know, that's a scary fucking part. It's like, you know, Enzo, you and me are in America. I'm in New York. You're in, what else state you in again? I forgot.
Texas, brother.
Texas,
Don't ever forget it.
I'm fucking drunk.
I'm just joking, dude.
Look, this bottle is almost empty.
I'm in the greatest goddamn state in the country.
But isn't that the scary part? Like, okay, if you ask me, said guys like the Drinker and Az versus Heel versus Babyface, obviously guys like fucking Mueller, none of these guys are American, right? You can't tell me anything. I don't know shit about Japanese, European, French. I know nothing about their politics. All these guys are from fuck overseas. They know so much about American politics. That's fucking scary.
Because like America is the fucking beacon of hope for every other goddamn country, dude. Seriously. Like the reason why the vaccine passport wasn't implemented all over the world is because America eventually was like, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And once the Constitution pops, the Constitution is such a huge fucking brick wall for all these goddamn globalists and satanic Illuminati motherfuckers that are trying to take over the world, you know, for real. And the Constitution keeps over and over decimating their plans. And it's like, that's going to be the same thing with this like economy. Everyone's trying to switch to the digital Bitcoin, you know, global Federal Reserve dollar. And I think, I swear to God, at the last minute, I really think at the last minute, the United States is going to pull a curveball and be like, we're going to go to gold. And everyone, all the fucking dominoes are going to start falling into place. I really think that's going to happen. And like, once we switch to a gold-backed currency, you're going to realize overnight, like how far your money can stretch now. Those same dollar bills in your pocket, like have way more meaning now. And, you know, the inflation shit, you know, again, back to like why the movies are making more money. No, they're not. The movies are making less ass in the seats, asses in the seats all around.
I've seen videos like that. Guys would say, okay, well, this movie made like, you know, triple the fucking money. But when they break down the actual
ticket sales.
Exactly.
How
they
many
break
tickets?
Down ticket sales are actually, they're going down.
Lower than ever.
Because it's
lower than ever. It's in a steady decline, just like the comic book industry. They keep saying the comic book industry is fine. It keeps making money. No, it doesn't. They're selling these issues are fucking $8 for the fucking floppies now. Fuck off.
That's why I support ISOM and Eric July. So I don't care, guys. Some people are like, oh, Chris, you promoted ISOM #1. Yes, because Eric July, love or hate the guy, he's not about, you know, he's not about being woke. You know, come on.
Here's the thing about all the Comicsgate stuff. This is another thing I don't like about fucking Gary, Nerdrotic, and the Friday Night Type Boys, and by association, like Mahler and Drinker and some of these other dudes, like they try to like not vocally talk about pro Comicsgate stuff because, you know, EVS kind of had a falling out with fucking Gary and them because he called Az and all them a bunch of zeros. And they got so offended. Now they don't fucking plug any Comicsgate fucking items to where the point where like raging who's his name? Razor Fist comes in. He drops props for Comicsgate stuff and everyone gets all quiet. Go ahead. Just
real quick, what Kyle said. Kyle's like, it's a good example. Kyle said Wakanda Forever only sold about he's right though. The thing is, but what they'll do is they'll say, okay, Wakanda Forever made more money. You made more money because of fucking inflation. That's why.
Of course.
Not because you're selling more tickets, because tickets now cost like, I mean, taking my kid to see a movie it's like fucking me and my kid is like $40 to see a fucking movie versus
the same motherfuckers that are trying to tell us that inflation is only 7%,
Yeah,
and
bullshit.
job economy, jobs are better than ever. The same motherfuckers that are trying to tell us that like every time you go to the grocery store and spend like fucking almost twice as much as you're planning, that's not that you're imagining that. Just like how they tell you the Little Mermaid movie wasn't bad. You're imagining this. It's like fuck these people.
I mean, Enzo, I'm not sure about your fucking Texas, but I said New York State guys. I'm not even fucking joking. Me and my kid, we had about 3 weeks ago, and we went to fucking Walmart, and like $90 would get me three fucking Walmart bags full of fucking shit. The exact same shit. Me and my kid, I brought my kid to there. We got multivitamins, his hygiene products, blah blah. But one bag of Walmart stuff was 90 fucking bucks for one bag of shit.
Yeah,
like,
I go to the grocery store.
It used to be a year ago. It was
I used to go to the store even with like a small trip. It'd be like, yeah, what, $20 I'd probably spend minimum, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like $60 minimum, maybe, you know, that's like, fuck, dude, we noticed the shit.
100%. Yeah, guys, from yogurt to milk to fucking eggs. When I'm seeing eggs from a year ago, at least New York State, I'm seeing eggs from a year ago. Eggs are just a fucking dozen eggs are triple the fucking price of a year ago.
Yeah, and again, they try to gaslight us when they tell us like, oh, Trump, he's the worst. It's like he's the only motherfucker that comes in. He's like, hey, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do to fix the shit. Like he's the only motherfucker that's even presenting some kind of a semblance of a game plan. Christ, dude, you don't have to be a fucking radical alt-right Nazi to understand that one group of people is lying their ass off and the other group isn't. I mean, it's just like, my fucking God. Like, I keep walking around.
Kyle,
the spin.
You're right.
The
Kyle.
spin.
He's right, though. He's right.
That's what it all comes down to. Again, like, why are these grown men over here arguing about the Little Mermaid movie? It's like, well, it's because we're talking about bigger issues here. This is a microcosm. You're over here. The mainstream media is just gaslighting us about every facet of our fucking lives. Whether like the money we spend isn't disappearing, the fucking movies we watching, they don't suck. The fucking food we eat isn't garbage. It's like, you're fucking lying. The vaccines we take are totally safe and effective.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck off. Joe, we were joking about me and Kyle watched the Mario movie, and we were talking about how like Dennis Hopper has like these Trump vibes. But then at the end of the movie, he becomes evil and turns into a weird lizard. And it's like, nope, actually, it's more like Joe Biden vibes. And it's like, we're joking about how like Koopa got 81 million votes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We started like, so that's what,
No, we you and me could do a fucking 5-hour stream, but like, so you want to do Commando in 3 hours from now?
Yes.
Sorry,
2 hours and 45 minutes.
I have to prepare for that. So, because
we'll bounce out of here.
Do Commando. If I had to pick my top fucking 5 films of all time, I've watched Commando an unhealthy amount of times.
So we're talking about Memorial Day. I know it's like, it's always distasteful that Hollywood always releases like stupid movies like this on Memorial Day, this somber day of remembrance. But like, what are your favorite like war movies?
Oh God, I mean, obviously, Private Ryan's got to be up there. Obviously,
that's to say what Kyle said. Kyle said the same thing without beating an eye. Say Ryan.
For me, because Private Ryan was, remember my grandfather. My grandfather first passed away, and at his funeral, we had remember, guys, VHS. You know, VHS. Yeah. We had a VHS. We had Private Ryan on fucking repeat. We kept replaying it. But I remember this when I was like 12, 13 years old. Saving Private Ryan was the first movie ever made that ABC, they actually fucking played on ABC television, the uncut fucking version, which never happened.
He did the same thing with, I think, and then like KUT, what was it? The WB, they did the same thing previously with Saving Private, Schindler's List. Schindler's List was the first movie to get a TVMA rating. The first anything to get a TVMA rating. Yeah, on TV.
I mean, I just remember for me being like 11, 12 years old when my grandpa passed away. I remember that saying that, you know, Saving Private Ryan, ABC was ABC's first ever where they showed the fucking act. Because remember, TV movies were edited. You know, this was the very first unedited version that was allowed on cable because Saving Private Ryan was so important. But
it was good. And I remember like we talk about like that was one of the first times I could think of a movie legitimately like triggering people when you have like war veterans like having to get out because it's like it's too real.
Well, because
it's too close to reality.
The opening sequence is fucking D-Day. And
dude, they got everything from like the weather to the fucking everything correct, you know.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things where I want to talk about how like my first video analysis video that I plan to start working on this month is going to be about Renfield and Innocent Blood. But after that, I want to talk about how Saving Private Ryan and Traffic had like such great impacts visually on movies in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Farrell, Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, dude, when Joker
Holy shit,
dies,
man.
that's like one of the most hardcore parts. And also the whole Full Metal Jacket's great because it's like 2 war movies in one.
I can say one thing, when Full Metal Jacket came out, a friend of my best friend Mark, I've known Mark since we were in fucking diapers. He was Chris. He went to boot camp. He came back fucking from National Guard training. He goes, man, that film after doing boot camp, it hit me at a whole nother level. He goes, Full Metal Jacket was so realistic to like, and as a part with Arlie Ermy being the drill sergeant, with like I guess Arlie Ermy, he improved all of his fucking lines. Like that dude was like hardcore, like an actual military man.
He was great.
Like
he begged for the role. And what's crazy is the helicopter gunner who was like gunning down the rice farmers. He was supposed to play that role. Okay, and this is what's crazy. Arlie Ermy was paid to train that actor to become the drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And then what happened was this guy who was going to be the drill sergeant, he was like, this is going to be my role for the lifetime. And eventually it just became obvious that like this dude, Arlie Ermy, should be the guy because he's got the voice, he's got the charisma, he's got the fucking know-how. He knows. I mean, and he eventually just asked Stanley, can I do it? Yeah. And they were like, yeah, sure, you can. Absolutely. And they had to break it to the other guy. And they gave him that role as the helicopter gunner instead. And that's like one of those things that it's like, you can't fucking deny that he was better than you in that role. And, you know, it's one of those things. How do you not go bitter about that kind of shit? You know, but
I still think recently, about 2 months ago, me and my girlfriend, she finally, cause she was my voodoo account, honey. I was like, I watched Fury for the first time. She's like, Chris, I've heard of Fury. We watched fucking Fury. I think Fury is a seriously underrated war film. That's like that John Bernthal, Shia LaBeouf, Brad Pitt, and even the method acting of like Shia LaBeouf. That fucker didn't shower for 6 months, man. Like that's
the kind of method acting that annoys me, you know. Like,
I get that, but fucking Fury, I still feel like Fury is a powerful fucking film. It's a really, and she's like, Chris, I really love that fucking movie. It's a good film.
Yeah, obviously Saving Private Ryan, and you know, obviously, like, I don't think Schindler's List counts because that's a Holocaust movie. Like, I love how Holocaust is a whole nother genre. You know?
I wouldn't say it's a war movie.
No, it's not a war movie. It takes place during a war, but Holocaust movies are totally different. Just like how, like, Grave of the Fireflies, I wouldn't call that a war movie. That's a movie about war orphans in Japan. There's also Barefoot Gen, which was like an anime about the fucking Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombings, which is fucking dark. But, like, you know, as far as like actual war movies, I love, like, I mean, dude, I like Born on the 4th of July. I love, obviously, Platoon. I like Casualties of War because you got Michael J. Fox and fucking John C. Reilly like acting outside their wheelbox in a serious war movie.
I'm sure you've seen too. Fucking Drinkers, production hell, fucking Apocalypse Now. His Apocalypse Now, fucking Drinkers, production hell. That's a fascinating, like that movie. The making of that movie is more interesting than the actual movie. It's like, holy shit.
And
Generation Kill,
dude, Generation Kill, I've heard good things about. Haven't seen it. I liked I love another one I love was Dead Presidents, and I think Dark Hour was like, that's more of a heist movie, but I was like, no, because they commit the heist because of the war. They feel like they were mistreated by the Vietnam War. I think Born on the 4th of July is a good one that's kind of underrated because like it's a little sappy, and I know it's like back to Tom Cruise, but it's kind of weird. You know, he was like playing the guy, and like the dude he's playing was like there on set in his wheelchair, like trying to watch. And they had to tell the guy that the movie's based off of, like, hey, man, you got to stop hanging out on set.
You know,
it's weird.
One film that's never talked about, but being my dad's seen this shit at teenagers because my dad was Native American, was Wind Talkers. Wind Talkers with Nick Cage and Adam Beach. My dad, we walked out of theater, we see guys like in their 70s walking out, like tearing up and shit. Wind Talkers is a very underrated film because nobody talks about it.
We had talked about it recently with someone else, and I said I'd never seen it, and everyone was like, you should watch that. So I will put that on the list. Wind Talkers. I did like Mel Gibson's war movie,
We Were Soldiers?
Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah,
was good. Hacksaw Ridge was fun because I saw it in the theaters, and I remember thinking, like,
I mean,
the first half is like a Lifetime, like a family film, and it's very hokey.
I mean, if you break it down, think about this: Mel Gibson had he had Hacksaw Ridge, but then he also had We Were Soldiers. Then he also had fucking The Patriot. So
but he didn't direct We Were Soldiers though, did he?
Puppet Master 3.
That's good. Yeah, Nazis, man. Puppet Master, retro
No,
Puppet
I
Master.
mean, yeah, Mel Gibson did direct them the same, but Mel Gibson's been in a few war films, man. It's like The Patriot's a good. I like The Patriot for all
Patriot
the
was
wrong
fun.
reasons. Because it's
Patriot's
like
good.
it's just seeing how, dude, how they did the fucking battle sequences. Like imagine being on the fucking front lines and I'd be in the back. Like fuck this, man.
God, I guess one of my favorite war movies would be Braveheart, but it's not an American war, so that doesn't really count for Memorial Day. But it's good if you like Nick Cage firing his Tommy gun. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
It's true. It's Nick Cage. Come on, man. If anybody could snipe with the Tommy gun, it's
was
Nick
that Wind
Cage.
Talkers you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The thing, because I respect it because the fact that it was based on, because no one talks about this, that the Navajo language, the enemy they couldn't decipher Navajo because only certain people. That's why, like, and it introduced the world to Adam Beach. Adam Beach isn't a big star, but just come on. I love the fact that what it represented. It was the first time you've seen the American Indians actually talked about in wartime.
You know what I did like was that one that they came out with recently. What was it called? Where like they go to Hitler, they find out Hitler's like doing experiments with like zombies, and it was like totally serious, like J.J. Abrams like Nazi zombie movie.
High Lord. It was High Lord.
High Lord, Overlord.
Overlord yes,
was legitimately awesome because like there was no hokiness. It was played 100% serious.
It was
like literally like we're soldiers in Nazi Germany killing Nazis, but there's a lab and there's zombies and it's like what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that was a good one. Other like legit like straight war movies, American war movies. I mean, what are some other good ones?
Black Hawk Down.
Not a straight laced war movie, but one I do love. Both Manchurian Candidate and Jacob's Ladder.
Dude, the Hurt Locker, and Hurt Locker is a great movie.
Hurt Locker was good. Catherine Bigelow, that was like her first time to shine like on her own because like she did Point Break and Strange Days, but both of those she kind of stole from her ex-husband James Cameron, and James Cameron let her. He just kind of was like, whatever, just give me a fucking executive.
I have to ask you a question that we're talking as two friends. Oh,
Hunt for Red October and Forrest Gump. Good answers both.
I mean, he's not wrong. It was a Vietnam movie.
Meg, Memorial Day? What's your favorite war movie?
Ooh, I want to say
American
1917.
War. Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Shit.
That's a new one too.
So
yeah,
we're thinking American. What's American War?
Dunkirk in 1917.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't count. But we were involved in World War I, so I will count 1917 because even though it's taken from the point of the British Allies, still.
Actually, since Megan,
for me, it was the cinematic wonder of the one-shot movie.
So and also
that was incredible.
Me and Meg watched. Meg also watched Boiling Point, like the Drinker recommended.
I took my kid to see 1917 in the theater.
Oh, Boiling Point was amazing.
It was 1917 in theater. It was probably the best film I've seen all year in terms of the theater experience. It was a fucking masterpiece in theaters.
Hell yeah!
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you sound like you're on your phone. It's good. You got headphones on?
I only have one earphone plugged in, and I'm hoping it's the one with the microphone.
Well, I'm hearing no lag. It's lag free.
No, there's no lag so that's good.
Oh, I thought you said you're hearing my leg. I was like, sorry, it's popping.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's popping. I can't help that.
So I asked Meg this and now Enzo because I've heard this for the past 10 years of my life. I've heard various people on the internet say that the reason that America loves World War II films is because it was only war that we were the good guys. So America is obsessed with like Call of Duty, video games, comic books, movies, and there's been more movies dedicated to World War II than any other fucking war because it was the only time America was actually the heroes. So
I hear what you're saying, but I think that I gotta be very careful so we don't get muted. Yeah. I think that the reason that we believe that World War II was the worst thing that ever happened to us when considering the Civil War, when considering the First World War, the fact that we think World War II was the worst thing that ever happened to us is not a coincidence. And it's because of a
all right. We get it. God damn it.
I mean, legitimate. Why are you gonna say one world war was okay and the other wasn't? And
but Enzo, but you do.
But anyway, in terms of American war movies,
but you do my Enzo. But it's like there was less Vietnam fucking war movies than World War II World War II movies, and also video games. Video games. It's like because America was the hero of World War II.
Had a winner. Vietnam was like a fucking long drawn out stalemate.
Exactly.
You don't want to make a lot of fucking movies. All the movies about Vietnam, all the best ones are like talk about the horrors. Like I said, and
that's people
talking about casualties of war.
Yeah, but that's what people would say online. People would say online because America was so fucking embarrassed at how we got our asses kicked in Vietnam. That's why we focus on. Hollywood is so obsessed with World War II because Vietnam is the first time we got embarrassed. That's why we're so busy amping up World War II.
Again, back to the passion. Like there was no passion behind the war. All the soldiers that were there were like forced to be there. You weren't fighting fucking war criminals, you know? And as far as like World War II has a bunch of different locations. It's got a bunch of different enemies. It's the world. We were a bunch of like security guard, janitor type characters going to a small island trying to clean it up. And you realize like it's hard to fight a fucking population that is like, evolved to operate in this jungle, like the jungle is what really kicked our asses. And also like Walter Cronkite said, it was like the fucking televisions are what killed Vietnam. The fact that we
should have taken a huge note from the Viet Cong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the idea is like, you've got a passionate population that doesn't want to quit. And it's like war is just like, beating
literally
someone
all we need, and we can't get it.
You're beating someone into submission, and it's like, who's going to falter first, Who's going to fucking fold first? And it's like, at a certain point, the Americans realize, like, we don't need to be here anymore. Like, this is too much. Stupid. But as far as, like, good Vietnam movies, I mean, like I said, I like Dead Presidents, Casualties of War. That's not even a war movie. That's a fucking rape movie. It's a movie about a fucking rape. It just happens to take place during the Vietnam War. I mean, that's what makes it more fucked up and crazy. And it's a good movie too. It's really dark, and it's you got great performances all around from all the actors, including Michael J. Fox. Like we were talking about Michael J. Fox in the Hard Times or whatever with him and James Woods. Where like Michael J. Fox is like a actor trying to be a cop in his movie, so he goes on a ride along with James Woods. We should watch that movie.
Yeah, maybe.
It's pretty fun watching Michael J. Fox gets shot in the belly.
I was thinking about watching the Serial movie with
maybe we'll watch it
with
later.
Alex, but I knew it would make her upset.
Yeah, I was saying the reason why you two probably got upset is because you're both redheads.
Well, the thing is like she is not even in the camp of woke. Like she's totally apolitical.
Yeah.
And the fact that it upset her.
She's actually one of the people that should be totally for the new Little Mermaid, and yet she's just not interested. Nobody's interested because they have.
She's like, why are you trying to ruin my? Like I said with A Wrinkle Before Time, why are you trying to ruin my shit? Like,
well, let's say
it could have been perfect.
Let's say the Aladdin live action remake was great, and the live action remake of The Lion King was also great. By this point, when this Little Mermaid was coming out, everyone would be like, "Oh, I can't wait to see it! I can't wait because the other ones were so good. They were better than the originals." Everyone knows they suck. Everyone knows these movies suck, and at this point, like you're trying to force us. You're literally guilt tripping us to go see this movie. You literally just cast a black actress in the lead, and you're like, if you don't see it, racism.
You're a racist.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you and your fucking stupid gaslighting.
Dude, honestly, the best meme I've saw from any of it is her with Michael Jackson's face on her, and it says "Under the Sea."
Yeah, and that's a harmless, funny meme.
It's like fucking hilarious. That's the best one I've seen so far.
All right. Well, Enzo, real quick. So we're at 3 hours. So you definitely want to do Commando tonight? Because I hate to cut off Meg.
No, go for it. You can bounce out here.
So because Commando is
2.5 hours.
It's an epic film, and I need to prepare for Commando because it's
I wouldn't be surprised if we start a little after 9, but yeah, around 9 o'clock.
You're much more of an asset to this channel than I am, so please don't apologize for cutting me off.
No, yeah, don't worry, man.
I love having you on. Just like Enzo, it's like we're doing 3 hours. I know him. He's like the bootleg mauler. He'll do like a 10-hour fucking stream.
If I wanted
to,
but
I really pop in here when I have the time, but I just want to let him get all his nerd out because I know there's some nerd I can't match.
Well, yeah, we talked briefly about the Flipside JOMO a little bit.
Yeah, he cares about like, oh, okay, this was a movie released the year that you were born. and was a huge part of your upbringing. And that's fine, but I don't belong in every stream. And
well, yeah, but Meg,
you
missed the part of the stream where I was talking about how, like, you know, I'm a 37-year-old man. I saw both movies for the first time yesterday and the day before, and even after
I feel like that's a failure on my part.
I watched the remake. I watched the original last night at like 3 a.m. and like, dude, like I said, at the end when she comes out of the fucking water, it was like, it actually invoked emotions. But like that's not in the remake.
Are you sure it wasn't because of the tequila?
I'm just happy now because I have more free time. But
Meg has the hiccups and shit.
Enzo mentioned Commando. I watched Commando an unhealthy amount of times. I could recite that movie fucking from start to finish. So
all right, cool.
I got to sober up.
Well, then watch Commando.
We'll see you in a few hours. We'll see you in a couple hours, man. And no worries, dude. Me and Meg will continue to talk about
the Flipside. Is that what we're doing?
Well, we can talk about Flipside JOMO and continue to talk about Memorial Day stuff.
I have 100% JOMO and 0% FOMO.
Okay, wait. You know what? Let's just bounce out of here. Let's just end it. Let me show you the song I started the stream with. No, but hang on. I got to pee real bad, but also I'm going to sign us off. I'm going to play the song I played at the beginning of the stream. I hope you guys enjoy. Hang on one second. Let me pull it up. Here we go. I'm going to play us out with this hot ditty, this hot new single.
Hey, wake up, wake up, wake up. Oh yeah, have you not heard the scuttlebutt? No, the gossip, the buzz, the who said what, who does that, yeah, the scuttlebutt. Well, I was flying over land and sea near to the ground, and I came flying here for you to see what I found. Remember the swamp? Remember my song in the swamp? When I was like, womp, chicka womp, womp, chicka womp, womp. What's his name? The guy with the hair and the shirt? The Prince? Yeah, the Prince. He's been dropping hints. He wants to know when humans dress all nice like they're penguins, throw rice to pigeons. They're trying to blow up the pigeons, but those are just urban legends. I know a lot of fat pigeons. Scuttle, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Hey! I will keep singing about the scuttlebutt if you don't mind me. I love Buttercup. Here it comes. The scuttlebutt, whatever the fuck that is. When you wash the clothes to the hunter, the arrow, the bows, the chatter all over the palace is that here Prince Eric's gonna propose to somebody nobody knows. They're saying he suddenly chose. Who you sound like an owl? I'll bet it's the kid with the two set of toes. Anything goes, who never guess our little Ariel's marriage material. Time for the rice and the dress. And what do you call it? The thing with the lips and the press. I don't have lips, I got a beak. So what do you call a peck on the cheek? Huh, you're awfully quiet. Oh yeah. What the fuck is this stupid song? My God, this is awful. I tried to even spice it up and it's still terrible.
So that was, that's the new rap song that Aquafina
No, that was good. That was
Little Mermaid. That was me singing it. I like.
Oh, you don't say. Better.
But anyway. All right. Good night. Good afternoon, guys. Happy Memorial Day. It's only 6:30. Hell yeah.
Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day.
Memorial Mermaids. Thank you, Farrell.
Right.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, everybody else, for watching. You guys see you next time.